don't forget Salt and Lime. You know the one by the Raleigh Grand.
Girl, Margarita Mondays and Taco Tuesdays? That's where you'll find me.
You girls do have it mapped out. Chez Empanadas, the House of Hops and Salt and Lime Cabo Grill. All outstandingly scrumptious. Off Glenwood, Grove Barton, and Durley Road.
TST is coming back!
The world's biggest 7v7 soccer festival is coming back to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, May 27th through June 1st. Watch stars like Landon Donovan, Hope Solo, and Chad Ochocinco compete for $3 million. With over 150 matches, the fan festival zone, and nonstop action, there's nothing else like it. Get tickets now for the world's most electrifying soccer festival at tst7v7.com.
Welcoming you back to appointment day at the Martinez house. Raul Martinez looking stressed about scheduling a colon cancer screening, but he just pledged to get screened.
Stand Up to Cancer and Optum want to help you reduce your risk for cancer. Visit takeahealthystand.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Pretty afternoon out there. Lots of sunshine, a high of 80 degrees with low humidity. 56 tonight, but a cold front comes through. It's going to bring us a small chance for rain from around midnight to 3 or 4 a.m. Behind the front, it's cooler and breezy tomorrow, a high of 71 with sunny skies.
Three o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 55 points to 49,704.
Blake with a shot, they score! It's deflected out in front. Jackson Blake continues his torrid pace in this series, and the Canes have tied it up at 1. Stick out in front, Stankoven scores! Logan Stankoven comes up with a monster goal. Whips it across. Blake with a shot. He scores! It's over! Series over! Jackson Blake wins it in overtime!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Happy Hump Day. You can go ahead and book your entertainment. If you've got a trip, a dinner, a show you want, a movie you want to see this weekend, you can go ahead and book it. I'll explain why in a few minutes. But your weekend is free. This is The Drive. You are listening to 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing. And you know what? I don't want to wait to tell you. So let's just jump into the big 3 at 3, as we always do. Number 1. Big 3 at 3 is presented by Maynard Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Whatever you have going on in your house, give them a call or check them out online at MaynorServices.com. MAYNOR Services.com. So Buffalo beat Montreal last night, and that series is now tied 2-2. Eastern Conference second-round playoff series in the NHL. The Canes, who swept the Flyers, are waiting for the winner of that one to know who they're going to play in the Eastern Conference Finals. They're also awaiting the conclusion of some Western Conference series. With Buffalo and Montreal being 2-2, Game 5 will now be on Thursday, which means Game 6, which we know will be necessary, is now on Saturday. So even if one of these two teams rolls the rest of the way and wins back-to-back, the earliest that is even plausible to discuss a Carolina Hurricanes Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals would be Monday. Even that might not be, likely, but that's the earliest, which means, yeah, if there's a movie out you want to see or something, you've been waiting to call up and book the reservation because you didn't want to be, missing the Canes game, green light, right? Go ahead. Your day, your weekend just opened up a little bit, and if you're asking, it seems to me like Buffalo-Montreal is going to go 7 to me. They're back and forth. Montreal doesn't know how to not be tied up. Over their last 14 games, they're 7-7. Over the last 12, they're 6-6. Over the last 10, they're 5-5. All the way on down to over their last 2, they're 1-1. So if that continues, this thing's going 7, and the Canes will just be waiting and waiting and waiting, which we're now past the point of no return. It's not going to feel like anything other than a super long break. What's another day or two when you're talking weeks? So if you're the Canes, control what you can control. Find the positives in what you're dealing with and root for an absolute slobber knocker of a 7-game series. You want games 5, 6, and 7 to go to quadruple overtime each. You want these teams to lay it all out on the ice and leave it there. You're going to be rested. You might be rusty. That's always the debate, rest versus rust. But you're going to be rested, so you want them to be exhausted. That's what you're rooting for now. A game 6, a game 7. Again, what's Monday or Wednesday? What's the big deal? You've been sitting out a long time. You're going to have to, as Rod Brindamore calls it, sharpen the knife in practice. You're going to have to mix in some more intense game-like situations just to stay sharp. But Buffalo and Montreal are not helping you out by making that one a quick series. Just to update you around the rest of the league, I talked about you have to wait for the West as well. Anaheim and Vegas also played last night. Vegas got the win. That was an overtime game. They lead 3-2. And tonight you will have the other potential closeout game for Colorado as they host Minnesota in their game 5. They lead 3-1. And again, the Canes swept and started their series before all of theirs, so they've been chilling for a while, as we know. That is number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
Dan Morgan, Panthers GM, doing a little bit of the media tour that is I wouldn't say required, but often done by front office executives following things like the draft and looking to just be out there, have some media presence. And he went on the Rich Eisen show. Rich Eisen, many of you know, ESPN guy now, once again. And he talked about a Bryce Young contract. Because it doesn't matter if you just drafted an offensive lineman, if you just signed the biggest free agent of the offseason. It doesn't matter if you have any other things going on. People are going to want to know about the QB. People are going to want to know about the quarterback situation. So Dan Morgan gave his thoughts on not just Bryce Young, but a Bryce Young contract extension because he is now eligible to sign an extension off his rookie deal. They haven't done so yet. Here's Dan Morgan's thoughts on the subject.
I think contract-wise, in terms of long-term contract, we'll keep talking about that here internally, and we'll get it done at the right time, if we're going to do it. And, we'll talk to Bryce's representatives and, just kind of keep those discussions here internally. But obviously, we believe in Bryce. He's gotten better every single year. He's developing as a leader. He has such a good grasp of Coach Canales and Brad Idzik's offense. He's just getting better every single day. So we're obviously really excited about him and the team and the direction that we're headed.
There is a very distinct difference between words and actions in the NFL. You can say you want to sign him to an extension as much as you want. There's no verbal contracts, right? It's not like I shook his hand and thus it becomes fact. They have not signed him to a contract. I don't expect them to sign him to a contract extension this offseason. They have 2 more years of team control, and the difficulty with that is once a player is eligible to sign those contract extensions, if you're not, you have to worry about the player or the player's representation going into they don't believe in you. Why don't they believe in you? So your words have to be, oh, we believe in him so much. We believe in him so much. We'll talk contract extensions later. It's kind of you have to go speak out of both sides of your mouth. And Dan Morgan kind of was asked about it, right? He was asked, how does Bryce feel about not having a deal yet? So this is Dan talking about Bryce's feelings. Here it is.
Bryce knows where we stand with him, and he feels the same way about us. Again, I think, when and if a deal gets done, it's one of those things where he knows we feel great about him. He feels great about where we're headed. So we'll get something done at the right time.
Does he? Listen, I think Bryce is smart enough. It's not time for an extension. He's got to go play well this year. He would love it if they wanted to pay him anyway. Give him, pretty good market money, right? Something in the starts with a 4, ends with a D million, 40 million per year. He would love it.
Starts with a 5.
He would love that even more. I think if the Panthers were to sign any kind of an extension this year, it would start in the low 30 millions, and you might as well play it out and see if you can do more. But yes, it is a really awkward situation for a GM because you can't say, like, we want to sign him to an extension. We want to. Oh, we love him. Oh, we want, he's going to be around for a long time. It's like, you're the one that can offer the extension that would make that true. It's not as if it's someone else. You can't go, people upstairs, I can't offer that. It's not like you're a salesman and you're like, corporate would never let me give that price. It's like you are the GM. You could offer the money. Don't tell me you are. Show me. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
Justin Gainey, head coach of NC State men's basketball, is going through his first offseason as head coach of NC State after taking over for Will Wade earlier this year. And he was at the ACC meetings that we've talked about, the annual spring meetings, and he talked about some of the roster. And it stood out to me how he talked about and how he addressed the return of Paul McNeil Jr., one of their standout players from a season ago that was in the portal, and then after a long wait, decided to return to Raleigh. Here's Gainey talking about Paul McNeil Jr. and getting him back.
He was a guy that, for me, he was a must get back. Like, I had to have him back for not just the basketball piece, but in my press conference, I talked about, the importance of keeping the best players home, right? Keeping the North Carolina kids in state. And, that was my first kind of test, right? And so, I understood where he was coming from, right? Wanting to go through the process. I respected that. And, I just recruited him like I would anybody else, and pointing out why staying home made a lot of sense. And at the end of the day, he was our guy, right? He's an NC State guy, and so he was a must get back, and we're excited to have him back.
That audio, courtesy of WRAL. I really liked that he made a point to say, in my presser, I said this, and I had to go back it up. I have in the past made the connection between like a politician who is during the campaign and a coach during his first press conference being of a similar variety, and that variety is say whatever it takes to get people behind you, right? There's usually money being raised at that point in time during a campaign and right after your first press conference. In college basketball terms, it would be raising NIL funds and selling season tickets. For a politician, obviously, it's raising money to support your campaign. So sometimes you make promises that you just think everybody wants to hear. And then whether they get taken care of or not, we'll see. It takes some real honor to make those promises or say the things that it gets everybody excited and then actually do everything you can to fulfill those promises. Paul McNeil Jr. took his sweet time making a decision on if he was going to leave, if he was going to go somewhere else. He was in the portal forever. And I'm sure Justin Gainey had at least some nerves on, like, what are we going to do if he doesn't choose us? Or, hey, I've got this NIL money that we have earmarked for Paul McNeil Jr. I could go do some things with it. But they waited out because he's from North Carolina. He's an NC State guy, and that's what he said in his intro press conference. So I respect that. I like that he pointed out it was a promise I made, and it was one I wanted to keep to the fans that I made that promise to. And everything he does is going to be judged against the person that he is replacing. So, making a promise and upholding that promise, breath of fresh air for NC State fans. Breath of fresh air. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Big Three at 3, presented by Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. Whatever you have going on in your house, if there's something that needs fixing, Maynard Service Company can do it. Check them out online, MaynardServices.com, MAYNOR Services.com. Up next, there's 4 people for the Canes that are rightfully swallowing up a lot of the headlines. They're soaking up a lot of the oxygen. Who's more of an unsung MVP? We decide next.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, it's Amanda back again with Coach Pete. Coach, how do I diversify? They talk about diversification. How do I put money everywhere? I don't understand all this stuff.
Well, let's do this simple exercise. When you say diversification, usually it's money divided between risk and safety, right? That's what we talk about. Diversifying, making sure you don't have too much of your money at risk and too much money in a place that's not earning anything. Those are the 2 sides. There's a third side. So it's almost like a triangle. Risk, safety, and income. We need a plan for income, Amanda. We overlook this many times. The brokerage houses never do that because they don't put income plans together. That's why they don't talk about income. The most important thing is saving for income, having income in retirement.
Yep. So if I have money sitting in the bank, it's not doing anything.
No, but we can convert that to an income plan, which will show you exactly the dollar amount you'll get every single month for the rest of your life in retirement. Folks, we're going to give 10 of these away. For the next 10 of you call, you get a copy of my new book, The Big Book on Retirement, when you call as well.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Back for Hall. Power plays over, and it's going to be a breakaway. Coming out of the box is Hathaway, and what a play! Keandre Miller left his skates, knocked it away, and then a follow-up save by Anderson on the rebound on Couturier.
And avoided taking a penalty in the process.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The Carolina Hurricanes have a long wait here. We talked about it earlier with the way that some of the other series are going in the postseason. Canes are going to be on ice, metaphorically, for a while. They won't be on ice, game ice, for a while. And with that, there's been debates, conversation. It's how it should be. When you're one of the last teams standing, people are going to dissect you. They're going to talk about what they like, don't like, everything about your team. And much of the positive press has gone to 4 individuals, and I'm not saying it's incorrect. I'm agreeing with them. It's gone to Freddie Anderson and the Stankoven line. So Logan Stankoven, Taylor Hall, Jackson Blake, Freddie Anderson, put them in whatever order you want. They have been the if you look on any like winners and losers of the NHL postseason, they have been the winners from the Carolina Hurricanes. But you don't win 8 straight games in a postseason. You don't go sweep through the postseason with 4 guys playing well, right? There's going to be the unsung heroes. There's going to be the guys that step up for a game to carry an off game for someone else. There's going to be players that aren't getting all the accolades that maybe deserve a little bit. which, by the way, let me just bring this up. I'm just going to keep throwing things in the haters' face. I'm not the biggest expected goals guy. People like that stat, expected goals allowed, expected goals. But it is there's something telling going on here. And shout out to Todd Furman, who works for Bet the Board and CBS Sports. He basically was like, for everybody that doesn't like hockey analytics, the proof is in the pudding. Right now, if the Avalanche close out their series and Vegas closes out their series, and they have three wins, just need one more to advance to the Western Conference Finals, then 3 of the top 4 teams in expected goal differential. So, how many expected goals they have and against subtracted how many expected goals against this season. 3 of the top 4 would be in the conference finals. That would be the Hurricanes, the Avalanche, the Golden Knights. You know who the 4th team is? The Senators, who just happened to be the Carolina Hurricanes' first-round matchup, the only team in the top 4 of expected goals minus expected goals allowed in the entire NHL that will not be playing in the conference finals if the Avalanche and Knights can clinch it, will be the Canes' first-round opponent, yet they had a cakewalk. Yet that's what the public's going to say, the haters going to say, right? They had a cakewalk. No, they didn't, but they made it look that way by beating them 4 straight games. And you don't do that to a team that is one of the top 4 in the stat I just mentioned, unless you have more than 4 guys playing well. So the question is, aside from Freddie Anderson and the Stankoven line, you are not allowed to choose Freddie Anderson, Logan Stankoven, Taylor Hall, or Jackson Blake, who is what I'm calling the unsung MVP of the first 2 rounds for the Carolina Hurricanes. I have my pick. It is written down in my notes here. Dennis, I want to hear yours. Who do you have as the unsung MVP for the Carolina Hurricanes?
Keandre Miller.
Gosh darn it. I say that because I also have Keandre.
Oh, yeah, Keandre?
Yeah.
He's been on the ice for 12 goals this postseason, 12 goals scored, been on the ice for only 1 goal against. And that actually happened to come in Game 4 against the Philadelphia Flyers. He did have a bad turnover, which led to a tying goal. But otherwise, he's been outstanding.
Yeah.
He's been outstanding this postseason.
He's 4th in points.
Yeah.
I don't think people recognize that because it's the top line is doing so. He's got 6 assists. He's got 2 power play assists, and that's not even really his bag. His time on ice is behind only Jacob Slavin. His plus-minus, I believe, is only behind Taylor Hall. And again, as somebody that just described, I don't necessarily always go full analytics. He passes the eye test too.
Mm-hmm.
You notice him making plays when you watch the game. It's not completely one of those, you just, look at the box score. You look down and he's had a good game. It's like you're watching it going, he must be having a good game. And then you check the box score and you go, yep, he is having a good game. It's a complete game. And I don't think he's getting the love potentially or likely because the love is being soaked up like a sponge by the Stankoven line and Freddie Anderson, which is why I think this was such a good question for him.
So you to tie in your expected goals, since I know you love it,
yeah.
Expected goals for when Keandre Miller has been on the ice this postseason is 11.91. He's been on the ice for 12. So offensively, the production, at least when he's on the ice, has matched that number. The expected goals against, 7.66. Again, he's only actually been on the ice for 1 goal against.
Interesting.
So again, like for example, at the highlight, we played that Garnet Hathaway breakaway there in Game 1, that sliding poke check that he made. It's those kinds of plays that he's been making. He's been blocking shots. There's a couple of times where there's been empty nets nearly. He's blocking shots whether with his stick or with his body. He's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Maybe it's the new dad strength. I'm not entirely sure.
new dad skill,
maybe.
It's because it's not like he's doing it with brute force. He's doing it with a lot of skill, a lot of exceptional technique and positioning and everything else. I still I'm gonna get, he's on a long-term contract, so I hope to get used to it at some point. But through the first year, I still get nervous because he looks like he's out of position, but he's got the wingspan. He's not. If somebody else were where he is, they might be out of position. So I go, oh no, and then he recovers so easily, and he's fast and he's got the athleticism. So at some point, I hopefully will stop being so worried when I see him in certain positions, because there's no reason to be worried.
There's actually quite a few people on our YouTube chat that are actually shouting out, mention Jordan Stahl, obviously the leadership of the captain, but also Jalen Chatfield getting a lot of love and respect as well.
Again, a lot of time on ice for that guy, and a lot of shorthanded time on ice for Chatfield. Obviously, Slavin as well, but sliding under the radar a bit might be Jalen Chatfield. Jackson Blake was on Spitting Chicklets, and he called Jordan Stahl the team MVP, and it was very much because of how much he does, right? Killing penalties, out there on power play, the fight at the beginning of the Ottawa series that seems so long ago, but it was a kickstart to the postseason for them. Leadership, physicality, it was kind of like there's nothing Jordan Stahl can't do. So another, if you're agreeing with Jackson Blake, it's probably a pretty good one, right? The things are going well for him right now. My guess is he's picking the right one. You ready for a really, really off the board unsung MVP for the Canes?
Yes.
Mikko Rantanen. Michael Amato of Sportsnet pointed it out. Michael Amato of Sportsnet pointed it out that Colorado and Carolina have steamrolled to a combined 15-1 record in the postseason, which means apparently the secret to playoff success is trading away Mikko Rantanen within the past 18 months.
No lies detected.
The two best teams so far in the postseason both traded away Mikko Rantanen basically the last 18 months.
Facts are facts.
That's A, hilarious and fun to point out. B, it does go to show you that fit matters maybe a little bit more than talent, right? Mikko Rantanen is obviously wildly talented, but the guys they have formed this bond with the team, talking Carolina now, that the sum is greater than the individual parts. And then this isn't an unsung MVP, but it's somebody who is unsung and he's being rewarded. Puckpedia did a breakdown of the players in the NHL. So it was kind of under the radar, but when the amendments to the CBA were announced sometime last year, there was an announcement that they're raising the minimum salary in the NHL.
Yes, so yeah, the salary floor. There's a salary cap, but there's also a minimum you have to spend. It's like $76.2 million, I think is what it is.
But also slid in under there is the minimum for individual players was going up by incrementally year over year until it gets to $1 million is going to be the minimum in a couple years. But the interesting part is, even if your salary is below the minimum and your signing bonus would make your cap hit each year above the minimum, you still get the cash to get your salary up to the minimum. So do you know who is getting the most new money? Because you have to be compliant, even if you signed your contract before this. As it becomes into effect, if you're below, it just automatically boosts your contract to the new floor. Do you know who's getting more money than anyone else in the NHL, according to Puckpedia? More new money added to their contract?
Who's that?
William Carrier.
Oh, look at old Bill Carrier.
He's getting the most new money in the league when the league minimum salaries go into effect each year. $600K more, $150 per year over the next 4 years, the length of his contract starting next year.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was. I was expecting it was just like all the entry-level guys were going to get, $50K more or whatever it needed to get up to the minimum. But if your salary is lower, you also get the boost. So he is, according to Puckpedia, the number one player in new money being mandatorily added to their contract. And he is another player that is unsung and does a lot of, what was the game earlier this in the Flyer series? He had 12 minutes, 12 hits. Talk about knowing your role and going out there and trying to fill it. And then he's on the ice for a lot of those really good chances that Robinson and Jankowski have gotten, and he's participated in some of them. So, next year he's got an extra $150K, which seems like such a throwaway number when you're talking like NHL contracts. But to the humans that get it, it's an extra $150,000 a year.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money for old William Carrier.
He's got 4 more years left on his contract.
$150 per year. That's how you get to the $600K total.
Yeah, I'm curious. I need to go look more into that.
I can send you the article.
Please do. I really want to look more into that because there are guys that are making less than him that I'm not seeing that their salary is going to be increased. Like Eric Robinson's making $1.7 million, but I don't know.
But it has to do with how much was a signing bonus and how much is just salary.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the signing bonus can make it so your average annual is above the minimum, but if your actual salary in cash that year is below the minimum, it has to get up to the minimum for your yearly salary. So obviously he had a, whatever it was, 6-year,
it was 6-year, $12 million
$12 million deal.
Yeah.
But I guess enough of that was a signing bonus that his salary was going to be below the minimum salary. So he got boosted.
Good on him.
It's really, it's very strange, the players that are getting the most new money. Igor Shesterkin is getting the second most new money. It makes very little sense. Tom Wilson is getting an extra $200K. But it is William Carrier getting the most. Canes always finding a way in the margins to get a little extra bang for their buck. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is an unsung MVP conversation. Again, if you want to voice your opinion, you can head to our YouTube live stream comments. 99.9 The Fan, jump in the live chat. The only rules are you can't pick Freddie and you can't pick anyone from the Stankoven line. No Taylor Hall, no Logan Stankoven, no Jackson Blake. Outside of those four, who's your MVP? We're calling it the unsung MVP of the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. We'll take a break. When we come back, it is time for the Dean's List. Don't go anywhere.
Life's great stories are built on yes and. Yes to the big game and the private suite. Yes to the beach and sailing offshore. Yes to traveling the country and exploring new ones. With the new Millionaire for Life from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can say yes to $1 million now and every year for a lifetime. Millionaire for Life. Winning is just the beginning. Drawing 7 days a week. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.47. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
If you think you or someone close to you is having a stroke, we have 2 words for you. Be fast. B for balance, E for eyes, F is in face, A for arms, S for speech, T for time to call 911. Look for changes in balance, vision, or speech, weakness in one arm, a drooping face. Learn the signs at wakemed.org/stroke, because every second counts.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I checked Allstate first and saved hundreds on my car insurance. Really smart. Unfortunately, I didn't check if I took the gas hose out of my car's tank. Ooh, not smart. And I drove off while still attached to pump number 3.
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
Potential savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Join us at Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, our biggest trade event of the year, May 14th through the 17th. Trade in your RV and get the highest value guaranteed. Then upgrade for less with new RVs starting as low as $94 a month. Plus, take 25% off select maintenance services. Save up to 40% on camp-ready must-haves. And enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Red, White, and New Trade event at your local Camping World, May 14th through the 17th. We'll see you there.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm feeling good about myself. It's very rare that I get to pass along some NHL salary cap information to Dennis. Normally he's telling me the intricacies of the salary cap, so I got to Got to volley one back at him, so I feel good about myself. And hopefully that will continue into our next segment, which we do every day about this time here on The Drive. It is something we call the Dean's List. So remember yesterday on the Dean's List, we put in, if you don't remember, I'll remind you, we put in Michigan and UConn for men's basketball. They're scheduling a rematch of the national championship from last year, very early in the season next year. The only issue I had was CBS was framing it as, these two programs are setting the tone for non-conference schedules. And I was like, you know what? There are some teams that have been scheduling more aggressively non-conference for, longer than Dusty May had even thought about being at Michigan. So let's ease up with the setting the tone. Duke was one of those schools, and Duke must have not liked it either, because do you know what they announced today? Illinois home and home the next 2 years.
Look at that.
Illinois is going to play at Duke this year, and then Duke is going on a true non-conference road game to Illinois in 2027.
Good on them.
I think it's been decades. Like, they don't have true non-conference road games. They have neutral sites. They have like Champions Classics and like the in-game or in-season tournaments. And they have home non-conference games. They very rarely go true non-conference road game.
The only time they really ever do it is the ACC-SEC Challenge.
Which leads me to my next point.
Okay.
They're in their non-conference schedule now. Just the parts we know. Michigan State on a neutral court.
Okay.
Illinois home. UConn on a neutral court. Michigan on a neutral court. Gonzaga on a neutral court. And we still don't even know who their ACC-SEC Challenge team is going to be. Mm-hmm. But I promise you it'll be a top 25 team.
Oh, yeah.
Probably top 10, top 15 at least. Their non-conference schedule will once again be unreal.
Send them to Kentucky.
Send them to Kentucky?
Yeah, why not?
Or perhaps Florida.
Yeah?
Because Florida is Tennessee. There's a lot of teams that spend a lot of money on basketball in the SEC. And I believe Duke will be on the road this year.
Yes, because they had Florida at home this year.
Which means the SEC is probably fighting over who gets to have Duke.
Oh, yeah.
Bring all the
I would
eyeballs
100%.
to their campus.
I'm 100%. If I'm an SEC team, I'm clamoring to get either Duke or Carolina on my campus. Absolutely.
I agree with that. So they'll get another premier game. That's going to be 6 minimum, like most teams' crown jewels of their non-conference schedule, and they'll have 6 of them.
They'll probably get sent to Maui or something too.
And those, you never know, right? You could catch a couple top 25 teams there.
Yeah.
So let's just, let's cool it with other teams maybe, setting the tone with tough non-conference scheduling when John Shire fears no smoke.
I remember they played Illinois up at Madison Square Garden just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, and that was, I want to say Illinois was ranked like 17th at the time.
They had a bunch of guys that were injured.
But a couple weeks before, they were like 3rd.
Yeah.
But you're right. Then everybody got hurt, and they won by 50 or something like that. It was not the team they were scheduling. But last year, Michigan, late November. Or what was it, like February, late February.
Oh, yeah. Last year, it was basically like 2 weeks before they played Carolina, if I remember correctly, the second time.
There you go. More Dean's List. How about Steve Newkirk, UNC's AD in waiting? Talking with WRAL again. I believe it was with WRAL. But definitely at the spring annual meetings. Steve Newmark said that the revenue sharing cap should be based on the number of sports that your school plays. Because right now, the way it's set up, and he's on the Dean's List for, ready for this, having common sense in college sports. It doesn't happen that often. And this particular thought that he had immediately set off the common sense sensor that is normally dormant when I'm covering college sports. This is a quote now, whether you have 17 sports or 28 sports, you have the same cap. That's not probably the best way to do it because it's almost a disincentive for some schools to have more sports. It's, first of all, completely true, right? If every dollar that your revenue share gives to your baseball program is a dollar you can't give to your football program, eventually people are going to want your baseball program to go away because they have to choose, right? It's a priority thing. It's not that they dislike baseball. It's not like they don't like, spring going to the ballpark. They'd rather have a team that wins football because it's more monetarily important. It's more media rights important. It's more filling stadiums important. It's more all of those things. Now, the one thing I would add is it can't just be on the number of sports. I think you'd have to assign an individual cap to each sport, and it would have to be consistent with how financially relevant that sport is. But that would level out a bunch because, like, even men's basketball right now, if you're playing in the Big East, if you're Villanova and you have essentially no money compared to other teams that your school has to spend on football, you can spend darn near your entire revenue share on basketball. Meanwhile, if you're a sport that has power conference football, power conference basketball, your revenue share gets split between two pretty expensive teams. Now, what if there was a basketball rev share cap and a football rev share cap? Then Villanova doesn't have that unfair advantage with how much their university can pay their basketball team. Steve Newmark, not even the athletic director yet. He's the athletic director in waiting. Already gets a notch, a tally in the common sense column. Dennis, do you have any Dean's Listers you'd like to put out?
I do. I'm actually going to put UNC football and NC State football on the Dean's List. We found out late yesterday afternoon that North Carolina, their first game of the season, week 0 for football against TCU, the game being played out in Dublin, Ireland. That's a noon kickoff on ESPN on August 29th. At 3:30, right there on ESPN, NC State versus Virginia, their game down in Rio, in Brazil, in Rio de Janeiro. So, yeah, NC State, North Carolina, you guys are going back-to-back to start the season in college football on ESPN? Yeah, Dean's List. You're literally, everyone that's going to be watching college football that weekend are going to see two teams from right here in the Triangle.
And your players are getting a pretty cool experience going to another country.
Yeah. And also what that helps, talk about the league revenue share and all that stuff when it comes to ratings. Well, guess what? People are going to be starved for football. People are going to be tuning in to watch.
I remember watching an absolutely atrocious Florida State-Georgia Tech game when they were in Ireland. Florida State was like, I don't know, 5th preseason in the country. And
they got blown out. The Tommy Castellanos era.
Georgia Tech won the game. I think it was actually DJ Uiagalelei era.
May have
But
been.
it was just ugly football, and I watched every down, and it was in Ireland, and the only way you knew it was in Ireland was going into commercials. They like showed a rolling hill or a cliff or a shanty of some kind.
Mm-hmm.
But I watched awful football the entire time because I was so just thirsty for football.
Panthers legend Haynes King.
Yeah, he was 100%, maybe the only part of the game that I enjoyed watching.
Yeah.
Ah, man. Quickly here, Dean's List. Actually, you know what? No, we'll save this Dean's List for right after the break. It's not really a Dean's List. It's something else that can come right after the break. Before we talk a little NBA Draft Combine. With measurements in and some of the athletic testing done at the NBA Combine, who would you rather have? Let's say you have the 3rd pick in the NBA Draft, and Cam Boozer and Caleb Wilson are both still on the board. Who are you taking? We answer that in just a few minutes. But first, I have to tell you all about Maynard Service Company. How about this? You're sitting, you don't have a draft pick, but it's the middle of the night. You have your phone in your hands. You are looking up at your ceiling, and there's water dripping, and you don't have any water on. Who are you going to call? What's the pick? Pressure's on. Clock's ticking. Call Maynard Service Company because 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, all across the Triangle. That's all of Wake County and 50 miles in any direction. They can come act like the first-round draft pick that they are. Bring all the skills, bring all the experience, all of the pro readiness that they have to your house to get that taken care of. And the same is true. That's a plumbing example. Same is true if the electric work in your house is going faulty, your cooling system shuts down, your heating system shuts down. Whatever is the disaster at the moment, Maynard Service Company should be the first number you dial. And here is that phone number, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or you can visit them online at MaynardServices.com. Once again, that is MaynardServices.com. When we come back, I will update you on some college indirectly related news, but also Cam Boozer, Caleb Wilson. Who would you rather have? We debate next.
The golf season is here. Time to upgrade your game. Head to Global Golf and explore Carolina's largest selection of pre-owned golf clubs. Whether you're just getting started or been playing for years, our expert staff will fit you with the perfect clubs. Plus, trade it in and save big on your next set. Global Golf makes it easy to turn your previously played equipment into serious savings. Visit us at 7320 ACC Boulevard in North Raleigh. Open 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Global Golf, home of the best deals in golf.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons from Chapel Hill Tire. If you're planning a summer road trip, car trouble is the last thing you want to deal with. Small issues can turn into big disruptions once you're on the road. Before you go, Chapel Hill Tire will give you a full bumper-to-bumper inspection to make sure your vehicle is ready for the heat and the miles ahead, so you can spend less time worrying about your car and more time enjoying the trip. Book your appointment today at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
Canes hockey is back. Grab an ice cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Canes. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles, so easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Official hard tea and lemonade of the Carolina Hurricanes. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Saturday, May 16th at 6:30. Catch the North Carolina Courage taking on the Chicago Stars. It's Star Wars night, plus premium seating and suites for the ultimate night out. Tickets are limited. Grab yours now at nccourage.com.
This deer season, John Deere wants to give you the home field advantage. We're bringing you the best offers of the season, whether that's cash off on select new machines or a shot at the ultimate Major League Baseball prize package. Because right now, you can enter for a chance to win an MLB All-Star experience for you and 3 friends, complete with travel and lodging for All-Star Week this July. Deer season is going on now through June 3rd. Visit johndeere.com/deer season to enter and view the offers and complete contest rules. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to Markdowns for Miles at AutoZone.
Got any markdowns on oil?
We've got many markdowns on oil.
How about on that new STP Any Mileage?
You'll save $5 when you buy 5 quarts of STP Any Mileage with an oil filter and get up to 5,000 miles of protection.
Heck of a markdown for quite a lot of miles.
At AutoZone.
Get in the zone,
AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. So I want to let everybody know that we will be starting tomorrow, every hour of the show, updating you on the PGA Championship leaderboard. And all of that coverage will be presented by McConnell Golf. McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with 1 membership. I was going to do this during the Dean's List, but we can push it to right now. I started tallying up just the local college golfers that are in the PGA Championship. We're sitting on a hotbed here. Let's start with the players that I believe these are the players that just played college in the area, and then we'll get to the ones that are from the area, played high school in the area, and also went to college. Cameron Young, who's probably the hottest playing golfer on the on tour right now, Wake Forest. Max Gracerman, former Duke golfer. Michael Brennan, former Wake Forest golfer. Alex Fitzpatrick might be the second most on-fire golfer on the PGA Tour as far as, like, just got his full status and is top 10ing darn near every week. Former Wake Forest golfer. Ben Polland plays his way in as a PGA pro, like one of the quote-unquote amateurs that can play their way into the field. Former Campbell golfer. J.P. Poston, who is like a stud on tour, has been on tour for a long time. I didn't realize this. He's a Western Carolina former golfer, meaning Catamounts former golfer. And now we get to Alex Smalley, played at Duke. He's in the field. Also, Wake Forest high school golfer. You get to Ryan Gerard, former Carolina Tar Heel, also Ravenscroft High School, former golfer. And Ben Griffin, also Carolina Tar Heels, East Chapel Hill High School golfer. All of them are in a major that starts tomorrow. They're all in the field tomorrow. I might throw a to make the cut 9-leg parlay on all the local guys. and I might throw in
finish top 10
just to make the cut. Let's not get crazy. And also Braden Shattuck, who's a former University of Delaware golfer, played his way in. So there you go. There's a lot of good golfers. And we will update you on some of their scores and obviously the top of the leaderboard once an hour starting tomorrow because the action gets underway tomorrow morning. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's get into some basketball debate. As it stands right now on the screen here in the studio, there's scrimmages happening at the NBA Draft Combine. For the most part, these aren't going to impact the top of the draft a ton, right? It's not like, hey, we just watched you play an entire gauntlet of college basketball, or we've watched you play against 30 and 25, 30-year-old professionals in Europe. But wait just a minute. I need to know what you do in this game with people you've never played before, have no chemistry, and you're just going to kind of go up and down and pick up. For guys trying to play their way into the second round or whatever, it might matter. But the measurements that have taken place earlier this week, I think they matter, right? You get to see who's truly as big, their wingspan, and everything else. So with that information that we have, which is simply more information, I'm painting this hypothetical for you. First pick goes A.J. DeBonsa, right? He's off the board. Second pick, Darren Peterson, off the board.
Makes sense.
Grizzlies are sitting at 3. They have 2 cards filled out already. One says Cameron Boozer, Duke. The other says Caleb Wilson, Carolina. And they look at you and say, which one are we turning in? Clock's ticking. Who are you choosing? That's where we're at right now. And it's I think, a really, really interesting debate to the point where it was almost comical watching their measurements leak out from the combine because they measured height and Caleb Wilson is an inch taller than Cameron Boozer, and that was being highlighted across social media. And then they do wingspan and they go, Cameron Boozer has 1.25 inches longer wingspan than Caleb Wilson. And then standing reach came out. Guess what? Their standing reach is identical. Literally down to the 1/4 inch. They have the exact same standing reach, which means flat-footed on the ground, reaching up, they can reach the exact same height. So a whole afternoon of, he's taller, he's got more wingspan, ended with, for all intents and purposes, it's the exact same. And then you get into the differences. Differences like Cameron Boozer's about 40 pounds heavier. Right? When you're talking NBA, you're talking, as they say, grown man physicality. 40 pounds will help you sustain that for a long series, long season. Caleb Wilson, when you're talking max vert, 39.5. Cameron Boozer, according to the reporters and the leaks and the insiders, 35-inch max vert. Now, you might go, oh, wow, look how much more explosive Caleb Wilson. 35-inch max vert is right around the exact same Cooper Flagg had last year. He hasn't looked lacking athleticism in the NBA. Cameron Boozer has the same max vert. So I actually think in a lot of ways, the measurement portion of the NBA Combine for guys that are of that caliber that we've seen play basketball as well as they have, it's kind of pass-fail. Right? It's bad if you're listed at 6'10 and you come in like 6'6 and 7/8. But as long as there are no real anchors that get tied to you to drag you down, it's pass-fail. So I'm looking at both of them going pass. Right? And you can go, people have. They do a little box shuttle, right? You got to run up, shuffle, backpedal, shuffle, run up. Like it's this whole thing. Cameron Boozer looked a little bit smoother, but Caleb Wilson, I think, actually looked a little bit twitchier. These are words that they both passed, okay? If you think I'm going to watch them play the games they played this year and then make my draft decision on who looked smoother or twitchier in a box shuttle, you're crazy. They've passed. Now go watch the film. Go watch the games. Who do you like more? I didn't think I would say this at the beginning of the process. I think I'm leaning Caleb Wilson.
Okay.
But I think that is because of, I say this often, I think I'm more okay with risk in roster management than a lot of GMs are. To me, Cameron Boozer is the ultimate high floor guy. If you need instant impact, you need 20-10 next year, you draft Cameron Boozer and you take it to the bank, and it's buying blue chip stock, right? It's just going to go up. You're going to be happy. You're not going to be ruining yourself with it. It's a good pick. It's a great pick. Caleb Wilson has a ridiculously high ceiling. If he can develop a three-point shot, if he can put on 20 pounds of it doesn't even have to be muscle. If he can put on 20 pounds of weight that doesn't slow him down or lessen his explosiveness, just to have a little bit more cushion to go through the rigors of an NBA season, the comparisons that I would use for Caleb Wilson would be disrespectful to Caleb Wilson because it would set the bar too high. Cam Boozer, I think, is ready to go in and be close to the best version of himself within 2 or 3 years of being in the NBA. Caleb Wilson, it might take a little bit longer, but if he gets there, goodness. So the Grizzlies are sitting, I think they have to make that decision. Right? Do they need 20-10 right now, or are they going to swing for the fences for somebody that could be a real, inner circle top NBA guy, but also might not ever end up there? I don't think either of these guys' floors are like huge bust, but Caleb Wilson, I think, is more likely to be a number 3 option than Cam Boozer. Cam Boozer is, to me, like a guaranteed 2 option, like a guaranteed second-best scorer on an NBA team. Caleb Wilson, I think the floor would be something lower than that, but also he might be one of them ones. And I don't know if Cameron Boozer will be a MVP perennial candidate, which is such a ridiculous bar for these guys to be set. But that's, I think, what I'm going with. Dennis, what say you?
I'll play devil's advocate, or I'll play the opposite. And again, I don't think you go wrong with either one of these guys. But if I'm Memphis, I might actually go with Cam Boozer as opposed to Caleb Wilson.
Specifically for Memphis?
For Memphis. If I'm specifically them, because of a couple of reasons. One, they traded away Jaren Jackson Jr. They need someone out there that can actually step outside and shoot. Jaren Jackson was around 36% three-point shooter. But they also just need someone that can be a little bit versatile as a 4. You got Zach Edey, who's 7'2" or whatever it is, big guy out of Purdue that they drafted, was a rookie last year. And then when it comes to wings, you got Gigi Jackson, former UNC commit, who ended up playing at South Carolina, who's about a 33% three-point shooter. You have some other guys. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, who's 6'7" as well, but still a relatively young player. They have guys that are ball handlers, like Ty Jerome's a ball handler. Ja Morant's a ball handler. I need someone that could actually be able to play off the ball as well. I think that's where Cam Boozer, with his shooting ability, actually might be, at least early on in his career, a better at the NBA, at least more productive early on in his career. But I agree with you about Caleb Wilson's upside. I think his shooting stroke, just from my eyes, looks natural. It just, again, my perspective, it looks like a natural shooting stroke, and I think he can develop an outside shooting game, but that just takes a lot of time, which NBA teams sometimes don't have time. So if I'm Memphis, I might be going with, I got a star in Ja Morant, I got a post guy in Zach Edey, I need to surround with those guys that can play. I might go Cam Boozer.
I think a lot of people, and by the way, I would expect Cam Boozer to be the 3rd overall pick in here. I'm tantalized by the what if of the top version of Caleb Wilson.
Oh, for sure.
Caleb Wilson, I mean, he's a good free throw shooter. I think he's, just on 72%, something like that in free throw shooting, which a lot of fans, a lot of analysts, a lot of scouts say if you can shoot the free throw well, they'll teach you how to shoot the 3. Like, that is a sign that you have the building blocks to be a good shooter.
71.3%.
Okay, 71.3. It's good enough. And with his athleticism and his first step and his ball handling, he doesn't have to be a 40%. He just has to be respected.
He shot basically 26% this past season at Carolina from 3. If he can get up to 33%, that's all you really needed him to be.
And then, 3-point line's a little further and everything, so he'd have to be a better shooter. But gosh, if he just makes it so you have to close out on him, he will blow by you and dunk. It is that kind of deal. And I also want to be clear on this just before we move on. This is picking between warm chocolate chip cookies and like your favorite slice of pie. Like there's no bad option there, right? It's just you can only have one. You got to choose. But it's a win. Everybody's winning when those guys could be going 3rd and 4th in the draft.
Yeah.
That's a win-win.
There's no wrong answer. It's like my fiance and I were picking out cake flavors last night.
How was that?
Oh, it was amazing. It was the same type deal. I'm like, this is amazing. This is amazing. This is amazing. How do we pick one or two? And we found out the two that we loved most.
We're 17. All right, we're having 17 cakes.
Don't threaten me with a good time. I'll do it.
No, it's true. It's just there's no bad answers there, but I think it might say more about you or where your team is in your build on which one you wanna roll with. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next. Dan Morgan talked about his quarterback and a contract. What did he have to say? Stick around.
Hey friends, it's Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. What a crazy weekend it was. And FanDuel, of course, will give you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. That's right. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and of course, every big basketball moment. From spreads to player points to threes and more, you can build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you plan to bet same-game parlays during this NBA playoffs and postseason, be sure to bet them on FanDuel. More options. You've got better payouts, and you can do it all NBA playoffs long. Head on over to FanDuel.com/Paul and get started. That's FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
I'm Neil, founder of Clay Room. When I found ceramics, I realized my calling was to give others the space to be creative. So I set out to open my own studio. Having a Chase Ink card has allowed us to grow it and bring people together. Now we're molding a creative community.
With the Chase Ink Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
You know what you can trust? The protection you get when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. You know what you can't trust? Everything else, apparently. Like when you saw that article that said that thing you eat every day is a superfood and great for your gut health. But then 30 seconds later, a different article warns you to avoid it and it's taking years off your life. Well, which is it? Kind of a big difference there. Anyway, bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive for reliable coverage in a reliably unreliable world. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Nice afternoon out there, high of 80 degrees, so comfortably warm with sunshine and low humidity. A cold front comes through tonight. That'll bring us a small chance for rain between midnight and around 3 or 4 in the morning. 56 degrees for the overnight low, and then it will be cool and breezy on Thursday. We'll see a high of 71 with mostly sunny skies.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 67 points. To 49,693. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is 4 o'clock, and that means we talk football here on The Drive. We have aptly titled it Football at 4. Genius. Dan Morgan, Panthers GM. Been doing a little bit of the rounds, right? And he was on with Rich Eisen talking. What else? I mean, they drafted a stud athlete left tackle in the first round. They signed an edge rusher in Jalen Phillips to the largest free agency deal of the entire offseason. They drafted a defensive tackle to pair with Derek Brown, already a stud in the second round. And on top of all of that, Dan Morgan gets asked about the quarterback contract every single time he talks to anybody, because quarterbacks make the world go round in the NFL news cycle. And Bryce Young is eligible for a contract extension. Probably like it's a luxury for the first 3 years of a quarterback's career, because the GM can just say, we're not allowed to. You are not eligible to sign an extension until after your third year in the NFL. So this is the first offseason where the questions aren't like, hypothetical. The questions are real about the contract, and you are going to be asked them. Whether you're playing with Patrick Mahomes or the biggest bust, you're going to be asked about contracts for your quarterback after the third year, especially after you pick up the fifth-year option, which they've done for Bryce. So here's Dan Morgan on The Rich Eisen Show with his thoughts on a Bryce Young contract extension.
I think contract-wise, in terms of long-term contract, we'll keep talking about that here internally, and we'll get it done at the right time, if we're going to do it. And, we'll talk to Bryce's representatives and, just kind of keep those discussions here internally. But obviously we believe in Bryce. He's gotten better every single year. He's developing as a leader. He has such a good grasp of Coach Canales and Brad Idzik's offense. He's just getting better every single day. So we're obviously really excited about him and the team and the direction that we're headed.
Dennis, you pointed something out there that I missed the first few times I listened to the interview. Did he say, was there an if in there?
If we do it, I'll isolate that specific moment.
The verbiage is so important. If would change a lot of what he just said. Obviously we believe in Bryce is one thing, but if it comes after you say if you're going to do the contract extension, that's a different beast. So let's run that back just to make sure I heard that time what I thought I heard.
And we'll get it done at the right time, if we're going to do it.
There you go. If we're going to do it. If we're going to do it. Fascinating stuff there from Dan Morgan. Listen, I think it's fairly obvious, and we'll play another clip for you here from Dan. I think it's fairly obvious this year is the year that's going to decide if Bryce Young gets the contract extension and how much that is per year and how much is guaranteed and the term. It's going to be decided on this year. It's almost like it's designed that way. You sign a rookie contract, you get the 4 years guaranteed, you have the fifth-year option. If your team picks it up, they get the 1 more year of control. You have the 2 years of franchise tag available if you need to. So you can wait and gather as much information as you possibly can. And this year is going to be a big decider. Dan was asked again during that Rich Eisen interview if it is a prove it, with that being the actual term, prove it season for Bryce Young.
I think everybody on our roster has to prove every single day, their value and worth. And everybody knows that in this building, that you have to, go work and go earn everything. But yeah, Bryce, in terms of him having to earn it, everybody on the roster has to earn it. And again, he's headed in the right direction. We feel great about him. And again, we'll get it done at the right time.
Do you know who doesn't have to earn it? It's people with guaranteed salary next year. You want them. You hope that you picked people that will want to earn them, but it's guaranteed. That's why they call it guaranteed. Bryce Young has to earn his next contract extension, and he has to do it this year. And I don't think that's wrong at all. I actually think it might be generous. I think a lot of teams would have moved on from Bryce by now. So the fact that they're like, all right, we're going to give you another year. We're going to give you a different play caller. We're going to give you even more help up front on the offensive line. We're going to give you another year of chemistry with Tedero and McMillan. We're going to give you another third-round pick at wide receiver. And you are going to have to show us that you're deserving of not only patience, but proactive payment. Now, you don't want Bryce to know that, right? There's, a handful of sports positions that can even flirt with the amount of pressure that is put on an NFL starting quarterback. So you don't need to add to that by saying it out loud, like, hey, this year is going to decide whether he gets $150 million guaranteed next offseason or not. Like, you don't have to say that out loud. You can avoid the subject, which is essentially what Dan Morgan's doing, right? Just, we believe in him. He's getting better each year, which is a nice way to say he started at -50. His rookie year was rough, and he's improved each year and still has a long way to go. There's a very obvious way that this is going to be dealt with by the front office. And that very obvious way is, let's decide based on what he does this season. They've given him some real get-out-of-jail-free cards based on the situation he was put in. Offensive line wasn't great. Wide receivers couldn't get open. Play callers were shuffling in and out week to week at times. Like, there's some real context that they have allowed to account for some poor play, some poor results, some poor production. Now that they've eliminated what I would say a lot of those reasonings or excuses actually were, now that those are gone, all right, prove to us that was what was holding you back. Right? It's similar to, you ready for this analogy? Garrett Nussmeier. Remember that quarterback from LSU? He was good his junior year, or his second to last year. Could have been like a COVID seventh year. I don't know. His second to last year, he was pretty good. His last year at LSU wasn't very good. Leading up to the draft, they discovered some kind of a mass or something on his back, and that's what was causing the pain in his oblique. And it's like, okay, all right. I will leave the door open that the reason why you did not play well yours last year was because of this medical development. But you're going to have to go out there and show me, right? He ended up being, I think it was a 7th-round pick, and he's going to have to go out there and play really well, or else they're going to go, oh, it wasn't the whatever they discovered. Same is kind of true for Bryce now, right? All right, yeah, statistically over the last 3 years, you are essentially the worst starting quarterback. But there's a bunch of reasons, right? There's all this stuff. I get it. I'll believe it. But you're going to have to show me that was it by playing better now that those things are fixed, or at least more fixed, because no NFL situation is perfect, right? It's not like any NFL situation, except for maybe Jalen Hurts like 2 years ago, is going to have like a great offensive line, unreal wide receivers, the best running back in the league. Like it's not going to be perfect all everywhere. But it's a lot better than it was for Bryce Young, so go earn your money. All right, let's have some fun with this debate. Evan Cohen and Chris Canty, who you know from Unsportsmanlike, airs every morning, weekday morning, here on 99.9 The Fan. Let's just say they each have thoughts on whether you should or should not pay Bryce Young. Here's Evan and Chris Canty earlier.
He has not been a historical bust by any stretch of imagination. He just hasn't been good enough for me to give him top of the market value that I need to see more.
So what is it, 35?
I can't do that. Under 20.
No.
I'm back up.
He's not gonna do that.
That's the point. I'm waiting.
He's
I'm waiting. That's the point. I'm waiting.
You're not going to get a deal done. Are you trying to get a deal done or no?
I don't know. That's why. Who's taking on the risk?
Are you willing to pay more to be sure? That's the question that you have to ask the Carolina.
Totally
you're willing
good with
to
that.
do that.
If you're going to say market value is 40 and he's going to be so good and so...
No, that's not market value. That's middle-class quarterback money.
If middle-class quarterback money is $40 million and he's going to be so good to make me want to give him $50 million next year, I'm cool with that. I'll live with that. But I'm not giving him...
Well, hold on. It might not be $50 million. It might be $60 million.
There is some logic to the moment you know your quarterback is your quarterback, you want to pay him, because every day you wait is an opportunity for someone else to reset the market. And it must feel like it felt for like .coms in 98. Just every business is just going up, right? Every quarterback is just worth more than the last, which maybe I'm stumbling into. There's a quarterback bubble that's about to burst. But, don't be Jerry Jones, who makes Dak wait and then has to give him unbelievable guaranteed money. The moment you know he's your guy, you pay him. The flip side of that coin is if you don't know he's your guy, never pay him. Wait as long as you possibly can, because equally, like, would you rather have to give a guy, $5 million more per year, or be giving a guy $50 million that you wish you weren't? That's the debate, right? If you aren't 100% sure this is a guy I'm comfortable giving $50 million, then do not give him $50 million just to make sure you don't have to give him $55 per year next offseason.
Yeah, it better be a definitive yes.
And the another way to look at it is this. A really, really good quarterback brings in more value than you could possibly pay them. It's the same thing I say when you're trading for a draft pick quarterback. If you're trading for one of the top picks. If it works, you can't overpay. Oh, we gave him 3 first-rounders, and it's like, well, yeah, if that ends up being your Hall of Fame quarterback for the next 15 years, which is what you're saying, it would have been a steal at 5 first-rounders. Meanwhile, if he ends up being a bust, it would have been a terrible trade at 2 second-rounders. Like, if you're right, you can't overpay. Quarterbacks, if you're making $50 million a year and you are one of the top 7, 8, 9 quarterbacks in the league, you're bringing back more value than that to helping your team win. Meanwhile, if you pay a guy $50 million and he's not one of the top guys in the league, then it's a huge catastrophe. And your cap is messed over, and you got to let other good players leave to afford. It's a mess. So if you have a quarterback, it's your guy, pay the man. The Patriots should be waiting at the deadline to pay Drake May. They know he's their guy. Anybody who's still up in the air, wait, learn more, get more information. It's what the Panthers should do, and it's what they are doing. I do not expect a long-term extension this offseason. That is Football at 4 here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Next up, we do have Dennis, who has some information for you.
That's right, I do. Dennis Coxer, real quick, for my friends over at Law Tigers. It's something that I always stress to motorcycle riders is make sure you wear the proper gear. Wear the proper protective equipment when you're out there on the road. Make sure you have the proper gear on. Make sure you have all the proper armor and everything that you're supposed to be using out there when you're on the road, because you never know when an accident is going to happen. And you want to have the best protection as you can to prevent yourself from when you're, if you hit the road, you hit the asphalt, protect your body as best as you can. And also sometimes as well, when you're riding down the road, I've had this happen to me before, a rock kicks up or a random object just flies and hits you. Well, you want to make sure that you're protected as well. So again, make sure you're wearing the proper gear when you're out there on the road. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com and get in touch with them even before you call your insurance company. Law Tigers was built by riders about a quarter of a century ago. It was built by riders for riders. So when they're injured in an accident, motorcycle riders know exactly the people to turn to. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is the network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan will be back. We have a blind ranking, some Hurr-Cons Cons, a lot to get to. Next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Aaron Rodgers is unemployed. If you're unemployed, you report to no one. This is on them. I love the Steelers as an organization. I've gotten to know the Rooney family over the years. You can't find better people than the Rooney family. But it's on them. You're allowing him, for the second straight year, to hold your franchise hostage.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Calling all Caniacs, come watch the playoffs at Carolina Ale House as the official Canes road game headquarters. Carolina Ale House is hosting viewing parties for the Hurricanes away games. Join us for indoor-outdoor viewing parties at our Cary location throughout the playoffs. Think of it as a hometown tailgate. You just bring a lawn chair, enjoy food and beers from the outdoor bar, and watch on our enormous TV. Visit CarolinaAlehouse.com/Canes to learn more, or keep an eye on our social media. Ale yeah, and go Canes!
It's game day. Are your moderate to severe Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keeping you from the action? Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, could help you get back to the game. Skyrizi is proven to help people feel significant symptom relief, achieve remission, and visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. Skyrizi is a prescription injection medicine for adults. Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's or ulcerative colitis.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's and ulcerative colitis combined. Learn more at skyrizi.com or 1-866-SKYRIZI.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Beastie Boys coming out of break. And if you're listening on YouTube, I apologize. You just have to take my word for it that we're listening to Beastie Boys. We can't put it on the internet because of streaming rules, but we do appreciate you for being on YouTube, listening on the live stream. And if you aren't on our YouTube live stream, if you aren't subscribed, you should go do it. Go subscribe, check it out. Videos posted constantly, podcasts posted constantly, this show live streamed every day. It's all right there on 99.9 The Fan's YouTube. We are continuously chasing a bigger community there. We want to bring people together that like the teams that we like. So be a part of it. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube, please. In the meantime, actually, YouTube is an unintentional segue here. It's a great place where you can play along for something like a blind ranking, which we're about to do here. So before we get started, everybody right now, if you are somebody where you can do this, write down on a sheet of paper or in your phone notes or something 1 through 5 and play along with us. We're going to do a little blind ranking here, so we want you to be a part of it. Go ahead and start it up, Dennis.
All right, Tim.
What's up?
We're doing something a little bit different here when it comes to the blind ranking today. So last week we did, for example, a blind ranking of Canes players, through the playoffs so far, right? So we've done something along those lines. Well, as we sit here and wait for the Canes to play again, well, the question is, what do you do in your free time, Tim? What do you do with all this time that we have to wait before we can watch Canes hockey once again? So we're going to blind rank activities to do while we wait for the Carolina Hurricanes to play their next game.
I see what's going on here. All right,
okay.
I'm in.
All right, so again, this could be a wide array of many different things that you can do in your free time, waiting for the Carolina Hurricanes to play their next game. The first activity I give you, Tim, a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle.
1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle.
Because you can do that over time, like kind of a few pieces together here and there.
I have a friend that does puzzles, and like when you go to his apartment, there's just always one on like the coffee table right in front of TV. So when he's like chilling watching games, he's doing puzzles. I have to be real. The only puzzles I've done in probably the last 5 years are like the Mickey Mouse ones that I can cruise through with my kids. 1,000-piece sounds a lot. I do not. I'm going 4,000-piece jugs. If you would have said like 300, something that's like mindless and you can just do while you're doing something else, I might have been in.
Oh, but Tim, we have time.
But 1,000 piece just sounds like I'm going to get through 100 of them, and then it's just going to be sitting on my table. And I'm not going to want people to use the table because the puzzle's there and I'm going to finish, but I'm not really going to finish. And then eventually, when no one's watching, I'm just going to put it in the box and pretend like I finished.
Okay, 4 it is. 4 it is. Okay.
This is like with 2 weeks with like nothing to do, right? You go to practice for 2 hours, go to treatment for an hour, then you're just home.
Yeah.
And you can't really do anything crazy because you don't want to risk. You can't travel. You're just kind of like in your house most of the day, maybe with a buddy or two.
Well, I'm talking for you, like for us as fans, as people.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about it as players.
No. This is just for us.
Okay, well, even more so then. I'm still going to work and everything. Yeah, I'm not coming home and doing a puzzle. 4.
Okay, 4 it is. Again, these are blind ranking activities for us to do while we wait for the Canes' next game. This is for us to pass the time.
I'm with it.
Okay, next one here. Ride the train at Pullen Park.
You know what? That's nostalgic for me.
Okay.
The train at Pullen Park, I don't know if everybody knows my history. I didn't grow up in the area, but my grandparents lived here.
Mm-hmm.
So holidays and everything, we were, like all the cousins and everything, we were uniting in this part of the country. Uncles and everything went to the colleges around here. It was a whole thing. And Pullen Park is one of those, like, from when I was 4 or 5 years old, burned into my memory. All the cousins and everything on the Pullen Park train. And I need to get my kids on it. I'll go 3.
Oh, okay.
I thought about going more for the nostalgic factor, but it's also, we got a long time. That's like an afternoon or an evening. Like, it's just kind of one. But that hit the feels. I'm liking the list so far.
Okay, yeah, so we're blind ranking activities that we get to do or can do as we wait for the Carolina Hurricanes to start the Eastern Conference Final, which might be a week from today. We don't know. So I gave you doing a 1,000-piece puzzle. You put that at 4. I gave you riding the train at Pullen Park. You put that at number 3. So you have 1, 2, and 5 available. Next on this list for the blind ranking, day trip to the beach.
Oh, number 1.
Okay.
Number 1, day trip to the beach. I'm a huge beach fan.
Mm-hmm.
Grew up at a bunch of different beaches across the country. A day trip to the beach, I mean, it's perfect. Get a little workout in, running in sand. It's like the best thing you can do. B, hopefully it's good waves day. I'm a big body surfer. C, it's a great place to mix up your sports participation. Right, you get the football out, throw the football around. You get the frisbee out, throw the frisbee around. You can get something with a paddle sport going. There's a lot of options. Volleyball, obviously, beach volleyball. The beach is fantastic. And then the evening after a day trip at the beach, the shower is extra good. The dinner, the food, the drinks taste extra good because you're a little dehydrated. Maybe your skin's a little hot if you didn't put on enough sunscreen. It's all good. Beach is number 1 for me.
All right, so I gave you a 1,000-piece puzzle. You put it at 4. I give you ride the train at Pullen Park. You put it at 3. I put day trip to the beach. You put it at number 1. So you have slots 2 and 5 available for blind ranking activities that we can do as we wait for the Carolina Hurricanes to play their next hockey game. Next one, read a book. Any book.
Any book?
Just read a book.
I don't get to do this as often since I've had the kids. I'm currently working my way through the Mark Twain book by Ron Chernow, which he's my favorite author, writes all the ridiculously long biographies about people in American history. I have not gotten, it's one of those things where I think it's like a 2,000-page book, so the progress looks like it's moving very slow. I'm hoping something better comes. Give me number 10, which it makes me seem like a...
So where are you putting it?
No, I'm putting number 5. Sorry.
Oh, 5. Okay, so reading a book.
It's going to make me feel like, or look like I'm, not the most studious. But what are you going to do?
That's fine. All right, so again, the blind ranking activities we could do as we wait for the Carolina Hurricanes to play their next game. I give you a 1,000-piece puzzle. You put it at 4. I give you a ride the train at Pullen Park. You put it at 3. I gave you a day trip to the beach. You put it at 1. And I gave you reading a book. You put it at number 5, which puts number 2 at doing yard work.
You know what? I'm going to be doing that anyway. I don't want to say I enjoy it. the one thing I truly enjoy about yard work, and 95% of it stinks. I like it's like I'm trying to think of, like mowing the lawn. You can complete it. You can be done, right? And especially if your lawn got a little bit longer than it should, you turn around and you see like the line that you've done and you still got this much to go. It's kind of, I don't know, like zen, and like I woke up today and I was productive, right? Like I did something. I mulched the flower beds. I cut down a tree. So much of what I do is like, I think I had a good show today. I thought I made a good point. It's all like subjective. There's nothing subjective about mowing the lawn. Did you finish? Is the grass cut? You can walk outside and look at it, and I kind of like that. So I'm with that. It's a bad one to have number 2, but I can talk myself into it. I'm day trip at the beach 1. I'm in there all day. Pull and park train could have been number 2. I'd probably would have went read a book 3. I have yard work over 1,000-piece puzzle.
That's the thing. Depending on what kind of yard work that you're doing, like me, I got the vegetable garden growing. I'm already starting to see I'm starting to see flowers and buds on my tomatoes.
I don't consider that yard work. I consider that gardening.
That which is in the yard.
Yard work is like the I don't know, like the less you can't have a product come out of the yard. The yard is just like covering, like you don't get tomatoes out of the yard. You get tomatoes out of gardening. You get flowers out of gardening. Yard work is like landscaping and grass. That's where I draw the line.
Oh, okay. All right.
With the gift of sight, you have your options. What order are you putting them in?
Well, day trip to the beach is a definite number 1. Nailed that one. I'm not going to lie. Ride the train at Pull and Park probably going to be number 2 for me. Number 3 will probably be, because again, in yard work, I also include tending to the garden in the vegetable garden, because I include that in that as well. So that'll go at number 3 for me. I'll do the book at 4 and do the puzzle at 5. But the puzzle, though, I will say this, though. You have time that you can work on it. Because, again, we have a lot of time before we see the Canes play again.
I mean, it's at least Monday. What if it goes 7, then Monday would be Game 7?
Yes, for the Buffalo Sabres in Montreal. Yeah, Canadiens.
Do you think they would start Wednesday?
Yeah.
So that's best case scenario, because then they'd be exhausted and have to travel on that off day. And
because you're looking at potentially that the Colorado Avalanche is going to be done possibly tonight, and then Vegas is back in action tomorrow as well. They could close out their series against Anaheim. So the West could be done by tomorrow, theoretically. So they want to start that probably as soon as possible.
Gosh, that'd be a lot for Montreal.
Be a lot for Buffalo.
It'd be a lot for both. You're right.
That's fine.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm saying, like, goodness. All right, that's blind ranking. If you were playing along, hopefully you did a good job and you got a good list. And if not, hopefully you laughed about it and had a good time playing.
By the way, Coach Simpson says, got to get that yard work done so you don't have to worry about it on game day.
There was commercials for that, right? Like during NFL season for something. I don't know what the commercials were for, so maybe it wasn't, where it's like, Sunday you will thank you for getting it done Saturday morning.
That's right.
And Sunday you was sitting there like eating nachos, watching you do yard work. Like, yes, I get to enjoy the 1 o'clock kickoffs because, you decided to get the hedges taken care of on Friday evening. Sunday you. It was a good bit. I don't know what they were advertising.
Sunday might be a good day to go down to the beach.
Little day trip?
Yeah.
Little back and forth? Very much could be. Blind ranking complete. Next up, Hurr-Cons Cons here on The Drive.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
You're darn right, confidence. And concerns. That's what Cons and Cons is. On Wednesdays, we tweak it just a bit. We turn it into Hurr-Cons Cons. It's all about the Carolina Hurricanes. What are you most confident in? What are you most concerned about when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes? That is the question. The answer? That's up to you. You can get to us in the live chat on YouTube live stream. You can send them to me on Twitter at Donnelly Sports, or you can just sit there and decide whether you like ours or don't like ours. let's get into it. As always, we have good news and bad news. You always take the bad news first, so we start with concerns. Dennis, what are you most concerned about for the Carolina Hurricanes?
That the guys that are scorching hot cool off. I understand that they had a break, and the players that talked about it. I was in the locker room yesterday talking with players and with Rob Brindamore, discussing the fact that they've had a layoff, obviously, between rounds 1 and 2. So they kind of got a little bit of an understanding of what it's going to be. But this is going to be an even longer layoff potentially as well. So I'm like, you're sitting for a week and a half. It's a long, long time. It's a small concern, but it's still a concern.
Yeah, I mean, but the funny part is, if you were Buffalo or Montreal, it would also be a concern for you. That, look at them, they're so rested. Oh, they're getting all this time off, is a concern for them. So it's a concern for Carolina, like, but it's also a concern, like it's truly a glass half full, glass half empty thing. My concern, because I hate to say it, but it's working for somebody that's not superstitious. Goalies. My concern is goalies.
Let's see, long layoff, goaltending.
Long layoff, goaltending. Freddie is playing out of his mind, and I'm concerned about him. Because somebody told me every time that goalies aren't my concern, they start playing bad, and when they are my concern, they play great. I don't think I have that kind of control, but I respect your superstitions, so I started putting goalies back in my concern right around 3 or 4 games left in the regular season, and they both picked it up at the end of the regular season. And then Freddie's been lights out, and I've kept it going through the postseason, so I'm not changing anything. I am concerned for Freddie Anderson, and I'm concerned for Brandon Bussey. You want to talk about a long layoff? That guy hasn't played in-game hockey in a long time, and he's not playing game 1, right? Like, it'll be a while for Brandon Bussey. So concerned about his readiness if called upon as well.
I should have swung by practice today again and be, hey, look, if you guys want like a game scenario run, 8:30 tonight, men's league.
If you just want to, you know how pucks sometimes come at you 100 miles an hour in the NHL? If you wanted 17 miles an hour, why don't you stop by?
Exactly. You guys want practice speed? We'll be slower than that for you. Trust me.
What's your confidence when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes?
My confidence is, knock on wood, they're, for all intents and purposes, they're healthy. They're as healthy as any team can be at this point in the season. There's nobody that is like with a glaring injury right now that's keeping them out. Obviously, the Nikolai Ehlers missing a game, Alexander Nikishin missing a couple of games, but these guys are back. And this what the layoff does allow them to do is actually let their bodies heal. And as Rob Brindamore even talked about yesterday, just mentally it's a lot less stressful as well. So I think just the simple fact of this team just as a whole is physically healthy. Again, as healthy as one can be after 82 regular season games and 8 more postseason games. They're healthy, which is something that they haven't had consistently in the postseason.
It's kind of what we said all year. Like, if this doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger. Like, if they're able to survive. I mean, do you remember how many blue liners got hurt at the beginning of the year? It was a new one every day. And we were just like, if they can stay near the top, if they can keep their goals ahead of them, if they can stay in line, they're going to be better for it. I think they're deeper. They've all played different roles. They've played with different pairings. So when things get a little crazy, they're okay with it. But make no mistake about it, it's always better to be healthy than have, like, it's always better to just stay healthy than to go like, I actually like our depth. And they get to show it now that a couple guys are out. Like, it's always better to just remain healthy and not have to show off your depth. But it is comforting to know you have some of it. Speaking of depth, my confidence, it's the depth. It's every line. It's every pairing. It's the fourth line, Dennis. I know you think they're going to be scoring.
They have scored. Just haven't counted.
Yeah, it's been taken away. It's part of what is so difficult about playing the Canes, and I've talked about this a few times. I like monitoring and searching for, like, when they're playing the Flyers, trying to go into, like, the Flyers Twitter world and seeing what their fans are saying, or when they're playing Ottawa to go into their world and see what they're saying. And both of them were saying the same thing, which is, like, it's just suffocating. You don't get a break. There's no easy entry into the offensive zone. There's no regrouping. There's none of it. And you can't do that if you have a line you're trying to hide. You can't do that if you have a defensive pairing who's not ready to go out there and skate minutes, because then your top pairings or your top lines are getting tired, or when those lesser lines are forced out there, they're vulnerable. You don't get that with the Canes. I mean, there have been stretches where, like, Alexander Nikishin has been their most impactful defenseman. He's technically a third pairing guy. There have been stretches where Nikolai Ehlers was the spark. He's on the third pairing. Jordan Stahl's been the spark. He's on the third pairing. I know they don't name him, but you know what I'm saying. It's depth. It's depth. Sending waves and waves and waves of solid, exhausting hockey at you. Which could end up being the positive of that whole rest versus rust debate. If they can just start on a good note, maybe Jordan Stahl has to fight somebody from whoever they end up playing in the Eastern Conference Finals in the first 3 seconds, just to spark everything. Mm-hmm. But if they start with some fire, they'll have the reserves and surplus of energy to keep that Canes energy up for a long time. There you go. Hurr-Cons and Cons. Here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Let's talk about that break a little more. Buffalo, Montreal. For those of you that are following the Canes, but maybe not the NHL playoffs as a whole, it was tied up last night by Buffalo. If you do believe in like the universe aligning or anything like that, Tage Thompson got a goal that I would venture to say even he is like, probably didn't deserve that one. Just kind of chipping it out. It hit the Zamboni entrance on the boards and ricocheted in a real weird way and found its way into the goal. They won by 1 goal. When that stuff starts happening, it's like, you know what? This one it doesn't matter if we play well or not. This thing's going 7 games. Let's start gearing up for 7, fellas.
Yeah. This one might be our night.
Yeah, it might just end up in a tied 2-2 series. Game 5 is going to be tomorrow. Game 6 is going to be over the weekend on Saturday, and beyond that, if necessary, will be on Monday. I think we're now past the point where the Canes, I think, would gain any of the rest versus rust. If it's not starting tomorrow, you're going to be at max rest and max rust. Okay, so beyond this, you might as well just let Buffalo and Montreal zap each other of all their energy, right? Just make it a knockdown, drag out 7-game series, 6-game series, throw in an overtime or 2. Have a ton of shorthanded time. Have a couple guys out there for 2-minute shifts because they can't get it out of the zone. Just anything. Have tough travel. Have a plane delayed or 2. Like you just want these teams to be exhausted now because you are as big break as you can be, right? As long hiatus as you can be. And then it just becomes, can you shake yourself out of it? Can you stay hot like you did from the first round to the second round? And can you, I don't know, match? Do you do the exact same thing that you were doing last break? Because it worked really, really well. I mean, I will probably end up doing it again, but you get closer to the game and you start worrying about, will the Stankoven line stay hot? Will Freddie stay in the zone? And then the first game against Philly was a 3-0 shutout victory. Stankoven scored again, and it was just like, oh, perfect, they did it. Never mind. I don't know what I was worried about. Perhaps they just run back the exact same schedule. Like, this is exactly how we get it going to make sure we don't lose our Zoom. But the one thing that you can guarantee is, If that's an exhausting series by Buffalo and Montreal, they'll be just as worried about your rest as you're worried about your rust. And with that, the Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will make sure you hear some new information from Dennis Cox here. Dennis, what do you have to tell the people?
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here real quick. For Loan Pronto, folks, those credit card interest rates, they're now over 29%, and most people, they're only making minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved, and they saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part, folks. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows, so act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Play some audio from brand new NC State men's basketball coach Justin Gainey about his biggest acquisition or reacquisition to his roster this offseason. Next.
The Adam Gold Show.
Until we pay Bryce Young, I need to see him actually be the reason why Carolina wins multiple games. It's not that he can be a quarterback that allows you to win. I need him to be the reason you do win. And that means maybe multiple games with 200 or more passing yards or 300 or more passing yards. When we get to that point, then you can pay him top quarterback money.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. We know there's a lot of breakfast sandwiches out there, but only Bojangles has the legendary Cajun Filet Biscuit. Shake things up with a boldly seasoned chicken breast on a fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit with bow rounds and your choice of drink. So when you're craving something bold, something different, something that takes breakfast to a whole new level, the Cajun Filet Biscuit is waiting for you, along with crispy bow rounds and a drink. Order in the app or at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuit. Bojangles Cajun Filet Biscuits are served all day, every day. And with that biscuit, why not add Bo's Iced Coffee? That's right, Bo's Iced Coffee with sweet cream. Choose caramel or French vanilla. Bo's new Iced Coffee, a great way to sweeten your day. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bow time.
Hey, it's Amanda back again with Coach Pete. Coach, how do I diversify? They talk about diversification. How do I put money everywhere? I don't understand all this stuff.
Well, let's do this simple exercise. When you say diversification, usually it's money divided between risk and safety, right? That's what we talk about. Diversifying, making sure you don't have too much of your money at risk and too much money in a place that's not earning anything. Those are the two sides. There's a third side. So it's almost like a triangle. Risk, safety, and income. We need a plan for income, Amanda. We overlook this many times. The brokerage houses never do that because they don't put income plans together. That's why they don't talk about income. The most important thing is saving for income, having income in retirement.
Yep. So if I have money sitting in the bank, it's not doing anything.
No, but we can convert that to an income plan, which will show you exactly the dollar amount you'll get every single month for the rest of your life in retirement. Folks, we're going to give 10 of these away. For the next 10 of you call, you get a copy of my new book, The Big Book on Retirement, when you call as well.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Justin Gainey took over as head coach of the NC State men's basketball program this offseason. He is a former player at NC State. He is from Greensboro. He is, in a lot of ways, the anti-Will Wade. Okay? And I think, whether anybody would like to admit it or not, I think that's a part of the appeal of Justin Gainey is he's not somebody that sees NC State as a stepping stone. And if one day he does see NC State as a stepping stone, right, he perhaps NBA or whatever, he will likely take pride in making sure that he leaves the program in better shape than he found it, or that the next person that takes over is hand-selected and it's one of them and it's somebody that gets the program. So when Justin Gainey takes over, the easiest thing for him to do is play into that vibe that I just described. The easiest thing for him to do would be to lean in to, you don't get it. I'm one of us. We're special. There's something special about this campus, this program. You could not say certain names in history enough. The Jimmy Valvanos, all the way up to the Julius Hodges, all the way up to the DJ Burnses. Like it's the whole kit and caboodle. Now, the part is that's fascinating is talk is cheap, right? You can say all of that, but walking the walk is what's really going to make people buy in to what you're selling. So in his introductory press conference, he talked about he wants to recruit the state of North Carolina exceptionally well. He wants to get and keep people that fit with the NC State culture. He wants to get and keep players that do the things that he values for the program. And then he took over a roster with essentially nobody on it, which meant the portal was going to be active. But there was one player, one that I think was crucial, Paul McNeil Jr. He was on NC State last year. He's going to be on NC State this year. He was on NC State the year before that. He is from North Carolina. He is a shooter. And if you know me, you know the more syllables you put in the word shooter, the better shooter you are. He was a 42% three-point shooter last year on a good amount of volume. He had a 47-point game, and he was in the portal exploring his options, and the rumors were there were some big money offers. So it was a big deal when he committed back to NC State. And Justin Gainey, who was out at the ACC spring annual meetings, spoke with WRAL about the fact that Paul McNeil Jr. is back on the roster. This is what he had to say.
He was a guy that, for me, he was a must get back. Like I had to have him back for not just the basketball piece, but in my press conference, I talked about the importance of keeping the best players home, right? Keeping the North Carolina kids in state, and that was my first kind of test, right? So I understood where he was coming from, right? Wanting to go through the process. I respected that, and I just recruited him like I would anybody else, and pointing out why staying home made a lot of sense. And at the end of the day, he was our guy, right? He's an NC State guy, yeah. And so he was a must get back, and we're excited to have him back.
I think it's meaningful. First of all, on just the base level, just the surface, boil it down to the thing that's most important. He got a really good basketball player to stay and play, right? And basketball coaches are great. They are often given credit for great players that are on their team. So getting a good player, number one. But I do think it's meaningful that he is tracking whether he's making good on the promises he made. Because it's easy when you're talking to a donor or a booster who went to NC State to talk about the alma mater and talk about finding an NC State guy. Or it's easy when you're talking to a local business and asking for their support financially to say, we want to build a fence around the state and not let the best players leave. We want them all to stay here and play for our institution and play for our program. It's a completely other thing to put your money and your actions where your mouth is. And I don't think the Paul McNeil Jr. situation was a easy one for Justin Gainey. Paul McNeil, as he has every right to do, right? This is going to be his third coach in 3 years at NC State. He has every right to go, well, let me at least see if there's something else out there, right? If they're going to keep, pulling the rug out from under me, I'm going to hit the portal and see my options. He was in the portal a long time. He was in the portal darn near a month. It was to the point where on this show I was going like, what more information are you going to learn? Are the offers going up in dollars like every day, and you just might want to see how long it'll last? Like, what else is there to learn? And that had to be tough for Justin Gainey. This is going to be his first year. First year as a head coach, let alone first year as a head coach at his alma mater, let alone first year as a head coach at his alma mater that has super high expectations. This was going to be it, and he didn't know if he had his main dude. Yet he didn't panic. He didn't pivot. He didn't go, fine, I'll go get a guy from the MAC to take my NIL money that I had saved for Paul McNeil. If he doesn't decide, I'm out. No, he said he's a state guy. He's been here. He's been loyal through 2 coaching changes, or at least 1 coaching change already. He's from Carolina, from North Carolina. We're going to go ahead and bring him in. And then he did. And now he looks at his roster, and if you want to know what he thinks about it, here's Justin Gainey, again, talking with WRAL out there at the spring annual ACC meetings, discussing the roster that he has put together for year 1 thus far.
I think we did a really good job of finding our kind of guys, when we set to put this roster together, I was very intentional of, I want to build a program. I don't want to just field a team I want to build a program, and so, starting out was character, right? Wanted guys of high character, guys that wanted to be at NC State, that respected the program, respected the brand, right? So high character young men. Wanted to find guys that come from winning situations to understand what winning is all about, right? And understand, like, it's just not showing up on the day of the game and, man, I hope we win, but all the work that goes into it that starts in the summertime, right? Because winning, it feels different, it sounds different, it sounds different, so that was huge for me. And so I'm proud of, like, what we've been able to put together, and we're still continuing to build and fill out that roster. And so just, being diligent on all parts of the recruiting, from the intel, from the evaluations, just being really intentional, making sure we get the right guys.
Were we listening to a college basketball coach or a leader of like a SWAT team? We need to make sure we're up on the intel. We need to make sure we're confident in. Felt like he was setting up like a covert operation. Got to know the type of people we're dealing with, how dangerous they are, and we're going to make sure that our intel is 100% locked in before we move. Maybe you have to operate as like a double agent in college basketball now, because everybody's out for themselves and everybody's lying to everybody, right? Intel could be as simple as his agent tells us he has an offer for $500,000 somewhere else. Our intel says that's a complete lie, and his biggest offer is $125K, and he's trying to shake us down for more money. That could be your intel. Your intel could be this player has a dream of playing in the SEC. He hasn't gotten that chance, but the first chance he does, he's going to bail on us. The intel could be his agents told him that the way to get paid is to get 20 points per game at all costs, and he's not going to play within our system. You have to get all that intel together, and he says that he likes what he's put together on his roster. I would emphasize, very few rosters are done right now. Heck, we're watching the NBA Combine here in studio, and there are a few guys that are playing in the scrimmage right now at the NBA Combine, names still in the NBA draft, that schools in the Triangle are banking on them coming and playing for them next season.
Yeah, we saw Matt Abel playing earlier, John Blackwell playing earlier.
They're expected to be at Carolina and Duke next year.
Yeah.
And they are out there playing against the guys that will be playing in the NBA next year. So nobody's roster is complete yet. And that goes for state as well, but it's good to hear that Justin Gainey likes the guys he's brought in. And I believed him for the most part. Every coach probably, fluffs it up a little bit. A little sugar coating going on, but that's fair. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The best part about what I'm about to tell you is I don't have to sugarcoat anything. I can just give you the facts. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. No sugarcoating. No closing costs. How about that? If you're looking for a mortgage or you're interested in a refi, potentially because you locked in your mortgage at the top of the rate a couple years ago, top of the market a couple years ago, call up Miller Lending. Ask about the no-cost loan. Again, I don't have to sugarcoat it. It's in the name. No-cost loan. It can't be more obvious than that. No hidden surcharges, none of those disguised fees, whatever you want to call it. It's simply the rate is what the rate is. The monthly payment is what the monthly payment is. No surprises, right? It's not like normally when you get your mortgage and you show up and you know what your monthly payment is and you budgeted for it and you have the down payment and then they go, ha, closing costs. We need them now. It's like, oh, whoa. Nah, Miller Lending did away with that. So go ahead and give them a call. Ask more questions about their no-cost loan. 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equalizing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's starting 5 time here on The Drive. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
The Carolina Panthers continue their evolution now 3 years into this front office, and there's promise. What started year one as a refresh turned into a rebuild, and with the latest draft, we see reinforcement. The fifth-year option on Bryce Young, now icing. It's a different mantra from the let's develop dogs mentality. Now it seems, let the dogs hunt.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Canes fans, this is your playoff headquarters, the Dugout Tavern and Grill on Kelly Road in Apex. Catch every Carolina Hurricanes playoff game the way it's meant to be seen. An official member of the Canes Bar Network, the Dugout has the sound on for every game, a massive 16-foot video wall, and bucket specials, plus $4 Storm Surge drinks to keep the energy high all night long. So grab the gang, wear your red, and cheer loud. The Dugout Tavern and Grill in Apex, where Canes fans bring the storm.
Join us at Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, our biggest trade event of the year, May 14th through the 17th. Trade in your RV and get the highest value guaranteed. Then upgrade for less with new RVs starting as low as $94 a month. Plus, take 25% off select maintenance services. Save up to 40% on camp-ready must-haves. And enter to win a new RV. Don't miss the Red, White, and New Trade event at your local Camping World, May 14th through the 17th. We'll see you there.
Life's great stories are built on yes and. Yes to the big game and the private suite. Yes to the beach and sailing offshore. Yes to traveling the country and exploring new ones. With the new Millionaire for Life from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can say yes to $1 million now and every year for a lifetime. Millionaire for Life. Winning is just the beginning. Drawing 7 days a week. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 8.47. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Storage Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. A beautiful and milder evening ahead. Heading into tonight, a cold front arrives. It could bring a couple of showers, then lows dip into the mid-50s. Behind our cold front, it's partly cloudy, breezy, and a little cooler Thursday with highs in the low 70s.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell down 67 points to 49,693. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free. You don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is 5 o'clock, which means it is time for the starting 5, and we start the starting 5 with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do that hockey.
The NHL playoffs, while the Canes are on their hiatus, are continuing in other parts of the country. there are a couple of teams, Western Conference teams, knocking on the door of the conference finals. Last night, Vegas got the overtime win over Anaheim to take a 3-2 lead, which means Vegas is going to have 2 shots to close that thing out. They can close it out on Thursday, or they can close it out, if they don't on Thursday, on Saturday, and that would punch their ticket, as I mentioned, to the Western Conference Finals. Tonight, if I'm not mistaken, yes, tonight, I was on the wrong Wednesday somehow. Minnesota at Colorado will play, and Colorado leads that series 3-1, which means they can punch their ticket to the Western Conference Finals. So there is a world where we know the Western Conference Finals matchup by Thursday, right? It could be Colorado-Vegas by tomorrow evening. We cannot know the Eastern Conference matchup until at least Saturday, because Buffalo and Montreal have played to a 2-2 series tie, and the 2-2 tie game, the game 4, was last night. So they'll play again tomorrow. That'll be game 5. Game 6, which will be necessary, will be on Saturday, and then if a game 7, it'll be Monday. So there's still a lot of hockey left to be played before we even know who the matchups are in the Final Four for the NHL. As I said, yes, we do know the Canes are there. That's the one thing we can say with certainty, and they've been there for a while now.
This is my assumption here. Just trying to look ahead, trying to forecast.
You are much better at predicting this kind of stuff than I am.
All right, so we could know tonight potentially, like you said, Colorado could close out. Game 6 of that series, if Minnesota beats Colorado tonight, would be on Friday the 15th. My guess is that Minnesota wins tonight, because if Minnesota is a really good team, I think Minnesota does win tonight, but Colorado wins in 6 on Friday. If Vegas is able to close out tomorrow night, Colorado closes out on Friday, and if Buffalo wins both tomorrow and on Saturday, my guess, Western Conference Final would start on Monday. Eastern Conference Final would be Tuesday. That's my guess. So if everything's wrapped up by Saturday, West will be on Wednesday. I'm sorry, West will be on Monday. Canes will be Tuesday.
I'm good with all of it. It makes sense to me. I will say I thought it made sense not to have the Canes play as quickly as they did in the second series.
There's that too.
So I've been wrong before, but everything you said did seem to make sense there. And also I want to make this point. And I brought up the stat earlier, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Todd Furman, who works for Bet the Board and is an analyst for CBS Sports, just went and found the regular season expected goals for minus expected goals against for every team in the NHL, and then the difference, he ranked the teams 1 through all the way on down. The Hurricanes, Avalanche, and Golden Knights were 1, 2, and 3. The Canes are there. The Avalanche have a bunch of shots to get there to the conference finals, and the Knights have 2 shots to get to the conference finals. They each have 3 wins and lead their series. The NHL postseason is a mess. I do not want to absolve anybody of the criticism that should come with how they've structured it with the division matchups and where the wild cards go, and how in the world that the 1 seed doesn't just play the bottom. It's very confusing, and I don't think it's a good way to set up a postseason. But it appears as if they're getting, for the most part, the best teams still alive to play the best hockey in the biggest games, for the most part, which is really all you can ask of a playoff. You don't want it to be completely random and not reward the best teams. You also don't want it to be completely chalk every year and ruin the element of excitement and anything can happen. So, the 3 best teams are there, according to expected goals for minus expected goals against. And then you have Buffalo and Montreal, who are actually, I'd say definitely bottom half of the league in the stat. They're 19th and 21st. So I think the players are doing their job. Maybe accidentally because it's not a good setup, but I think they're doing their job. Way to go. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
The NFL is, actually, you know what? Let's fire some breaking news here. It's medium breaking news. Don't get too excited. Four-star small forward Kevin Thomas has committed to the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. The 6'7" center out of Sagemont Prep visited Chapel Hill on Wednesday, and is now officially pledged to Mike Malone, according to On3. Actually, you know what? This might be one of the few Carolina pledges that, in secret, NC State fans will celebrate. Do you know why? Because he had been committed to LSU. And Will Wade. But reopened his commitment when that coaching change happened back in, whenever it was, late March, following the change that saw Will Wade return to Baton Rouge. So he's a top 100 recruit in the upcoming freshman class. 94, according to Rivals Industry Ranking. 35th ranked small forward in the class. He had received offers from all of the powers that be, right? Florida State, Miami, Auburn, Washington, Tennessee, Cal, bunch of others. He is the third high school commitment for Carolina, joining top 25 national recruit Maximo Adams and 3-star guard / son of Kenny Smith, Malloy Smith, and then international players and transfers and everything else finishing out the class. But that's a good big get. It's, just a couple minutes ago I was talking about how rosters are far from complete. There's going to be, I believe, this early on depth signing for Carolina, but who knows what it could develop into. And obviously I'm speaking a bit there out of surface level research, because I just learned of the commitment a second ago. But these rosters still have to fill out. It used to be we would know, 8 guys, and it would just be, who are the 4 that are coming in. Now it's like, even once you get the main part of your roster situated, you still have to fill it out. This is a good move by Mike Malone to fill it out. And again, they won't say it publicly, but you took a recruit from Will Wade. There's going to be a few different celebrations happening around here. Does Will Wade have anyone committed to his roster yet? Anybody?
I genuinely have no idea.
I saw some rumors that he and or his people are kind of leaking that they have a secret roster. They have just like verbal commitments, handshake commitments from a ton of overseas prospects, but they're going to wait and drop it on us at a crazy time. I'll just hit you with this one. I'll believe that when I see it. I don't think they might have a player or 2 committed to LSU right now. All right, let's get to that was number 4-ish. Let's get to number 3. The PGA Championship starts tomorrow, so we will have updates every hour during this show for the scores, who's at the top, who's in the mix, and I will surely update you on some of the local golfers in the mix. I did this earlier. I'll run through it again because, when you talk Triangle, when you talk the ACC teams, or even just college athletics in the state of North Carolina, college basketball pops to mind, college football pops to mind, college baseball pops to mind. I think golf should start popping to mind when you talk college sports at maybe beyond the level that it is, which I know it has a good reputation. I think just buckle up for this. Alex Fitzpatrick, Wake Forest, has a couple of 3 top 10s in the last 3 tournaments he's entered in the PGA Tour. On fire. Cameron Young, Wake Forest, might be, he's a top 5 golfer in the world right now, official world golf rankings. Absolutely lights out. He's made, $10 million in the last 6 months on the course. Ben Griffin, who's a Ryder Cup guy, University of North Carolina golfer. Ryan Gerard, who's been really, really good over the last 18 months, University of North Carolina. Michael Brennan out of Wake Forest, maybe not as well known, but he hits the absolute lights out of the golf ball. might be, and I'd have to look it up here, might be the longest driver on tour as far as driving distance. I can give you the PGA Tour stat real quick. PGA Tour driving distance this year, average number one. Hold on, get it by. Yeah, number one. Look at that. He hits it 323 yards on average. Crazy. More local golfers, local college golfers in the PGA field this weekend, which major, right? Something to be excited about. There is Ben Pollan, former Campbell golfer, played his way in as a PGA Pro because they have all the PGA Pro tournament winners that make it. JT Poston, former Western Carolina golfer. Who have I missed here? Max Gracerman, former Duke golfer. Alex Smalley, former Duke and Wake Forest High School golfer. I think that's all of them. I read them in a really weird order, so I don't know if I've gone back and found them all. A lot of college golfers from the area, and as Chad from our sales department pointed out and texted me earlier, I was just focused on the college golfers that played college in the area, but I mean, like Akshay Bhatia is having an unreal season. He lives in the area. He didn't go to college at all. Matter of fact, I think he skipped his senior year of high school to go pro. But he is representing our area as well in the PGA Championship. So it is a true, I mean, there's a good chance somebody on Sunday that's near the top of the leaderboard in the mix is going to have some connection to the state of North Carolina. And I always root a little bit extra for the locals. PGA Championship, you're looking about 3.5, 3.6 million to the winner. Everybody's getting paid in the PGA Championship. Live is absolutely crumbling, but the one thing that they did do was kind of bully the PGA into upping the purse for darn near all of their tournaments. And for that, PGA golfers will forever be like, it was messed up what you did, but I guess the silver lining is I got a lot more rich. A lot more rich. A lot. PGA Championship starts tomorrow. Should be a fun one. And we will be updating you here on 99.9 The Fan. That is number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us. I feel great about playing football right now.
The Carolina Panthers GM, Dan Morgan, has given some interviews. He talked about Bryce Young. But before we play some of that audio for you, they did announce the international games for the NFL. The Panthers are not going international at all. They do not have any international games. If you're interested, Rams 49ers will be in week 1 in Australia. That might be the coolest game on the schedule. Do you know why? Because it's being played in the future. It's going to be played Friday. I think it's like Friday mid-morning. It's going to be like a 10:30 a.m. start, something like that, in Australia on a Friday. But here, it's going to be aired Thursday evening at 8:35. Yeah, it's being played in the future.
That's on Netflix, too, if I remember correctly.
I believe so. Don't quote me on it, but I believe so. Week 3, Ravens-Cowboys will be in Brazil. Week 4, Colts-Commanders will be in London. Week 5, Eagles-Jaguars will be in London. Week 6, the Jags said we'll have another. Texans-Jaguars will be in London. Week 7, Steelers-Saints will be in France.
All right.
Week 9, Bengals-Falcons will be in Spain. Week 10, Patriots-Lions will be in Germany. And the last international game of the year will be Week 11, Vikings-49ers in Mexico. If you want to bet on something, look for a kicking record to be broken in Mexico. I believe they play those in Mexico City where the elevation is high. The ball flies. So, you know, just throwing that out there, perhaps. The reason why I bring that up for the Panthers, though, is they do not have an international game. Adam Schefter tweeted it out earlier today. The Panthers will travel in totality, their entire schedule, to every game that they play, the fewest amount of miles in the NFL. Like 32nd out of 32nd. I'm not like exaggerating here. They will travel the fewest amount of miles, just 8,740 travel miles total. To put that in perspective, the Niners will travel the most. It'll be 38,100 miles.
Oh, wow.
About 30,000 miles more travel than the Panthers. Even middle of the pack. Like the Commanders are 16th, right? So like right there in the middle. They're traveling 10,000 more miles than the Panthers. I don't know how much that impacts things. These teams are really good at like avoiding jet lag and travel schedules and everything, getting to the place when you need to and handling it, when do you eat, when do you sleep. But it can hurt to be a team that's just staying close to home.
Yeah, less time in a pressurized tube. Yeah, I think that probably helps.
Less Russell Wilson doing high knees in the aisle.
Oh, God.
That's just an unnecessary. Like, he's not even in the league right now. He's not even on a team. That was just an unnecessary shot.
What I see, he's pondering either television or like a role with the Jets or something like that. I don't know.
You know, Geno Smith needs a backup, I guess.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, I did see perhaps CBS is in play. I don't know. But
you know what my television doesn't need? More Russell Wilson.
Well, what if it wasn't Russell Wilson? What if it was Mr. Unlimited?
Less of that. Need less of that. Golly.
Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, Panthers
I can find that sound.
Travel less than anyone else. No, I did it great. That's fine. I don't care if it wasn't a good impression at all. I enjoyed it, so I'm going to let that rock.
That's fair.
All right, let's play some audio from Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan on if this year is a prove-it season for Bryce Young.
I think everybody on our roster has to prove every single day, their value and worth, and everybody knows that in this building, that you have to, go work and go earn everything. But yeah, Bryce, in terms of him having to earn it, everybody on the roster has to earn it. And again, he's headed in the right direction. We feel great about him. And again, we'll get it done at the right time.
Obviously, he's referencing contract talks. I've said this for a while, that like the salary cap should almost be like quarterback should be its own beast. It should be separate, right? It's the finances are different. How they earn it is different. The bar of success is different. You can be, and this has happened. You can be like the 14th best quarterback in the league, and if you're up for a contract, you demand number one money, right? I want to set the market. I want to be the top, and it's worked at times for certain guys. If you are the fourth best wide receiver, if you're the sixth best wide receiver, and you go out and say like, "Did you see what Jackson Smith and Jigba got? I want that." It's gonna be like, well, we'll give you $2 million less per year, and we'll work on it. We'll see what the market is, and quarterback's different. So his prove it is different than everyone on the roster having to prove it, because everyone else on the roster, it's like a very sliding scale, right? It's you prove what your worth is, and then we negotiate your worth based on what you prove. For Bryce Young, it's like he has to get above a threshold, and if he does that, he gets $50 million per year. It's you just have to get there. So it is a different kind of prove it. It's like, I don't. This is him going into the final. And let me see if other students had similar experiences to me. There were a handful of times where I knew exactly the percentage I needed to get on a final to get a grade that I needed, right? Like, I need a B in this class, and in the final, if I get a 87.3 or higher, I get a B in the class, right? So that's what I didn't care if it was 87.4 or a 99. I just needed to get above that threshold, right? And then there were other years where it was, I'd like to do well in this class, and the final's going to impact that, whatever. Bryce is the first. It's like he needs whatever that grade is. He needs to prove he's that good to change his kids' financial lives. Like, then everything is good, and he's the guy. And if he doesn't, they're not going to give him an extension. It's very rare to even see like a true prove-it deal signed by a quarterback. I think the last ones might have been, there was an Andy Dalton, Colin Kaepernick year, like 15 years ago, where they both signed extensions that on the face were like $122 million over 5 years. And then when you looked into it, it was like, oh, these are all one-year deals for pretty mediocre money, according to quarterbacks. And it was just like, if you keep proving it, you'll keep getting paid more and more. That's even rare anymore. So, yeah, it's a prove-it deal for Bryce. You either prove that you are worthy of $40, $50 million a year, or the Panthers are probably drafting somebody next draft. Like, it's that kind of deal. It's a prove-it year. And it should be, by the way. He's had 3 years to kind of get his bearings. Now it's time to prove it. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one! North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your shirt off, twist it around your hand like a helicopter. North Carolina.
Carolina Hurricanes were back on the ice today for practice. They will not be practicing or having media availability tomorrow. Why? Because they have nothing but time, and you can take days off. The good news is today they did have practice. Everybody was on the ice. Everybody was there. Everybody was practicing. Everybody was skating. Rod Brindamore and the coaching staff, they have a puzzle that they have to deal with, which is how do you make sure that you are revving the engines enough on your players to keep them in as sharp as you can without risking anything, without overworking, without doing anything unnecessary, right? And they're going to have a bunch of practices. They're going to have a bunch of skates. I'm sure for a few of them, they may even be, as long as you lock in mentally, pretty walkthrough-ish. Like just, hey, let's make sure we're on top of it. If you guys handle your business, we'll get out of here a little early. It's a really weird situation that they found themselves in, but it plays into one of what I think are the themes of the entire NHL postseason, which is the haves and the have-nots when it comes to NHL experience. Rod Brindamore, what was the stat? He's 94 of 96 playoff victories in Carolina Hurricanes history since relocation. He's been a coach or a player. The guy has been around the block a few times. And the core, the Ahos, the Stalls that have been around for the entirety of this 8 consecutive years in the postseason run, they've been through darn near everything. And Stahl, going back to, I mean, he's got a cup, right? He's been through postseasons in a bunch of different ways, even prior to coming to Carolina. How they handle the breaks is a part of their experience. How they handle staying sharp mentally without wearing yourself out physically is a part of their experience. A lot of these other teams, particularly in the East, don't have any of that experience or very little of that experience. So I think, their chances, meaning the Canes' chances of navigating this in a way that either becomes an advantage for them or at least minimizes the amount of disadvantage it becomes for them, their chances are much higher. Dennis, what are you doing if you're the coach? Are you like, I almost feel like you have to, maybe not like full ice scrimmage. We got to do some like 3-on-3s or something. You got to do some mini games. You got to do something where you're getting at least a modicum of a game rep.
So one thing that they were doing yesterday was they were doing power play, penalty kill, and they were doing some different some situational things. But there are times where they'll basically split like, all right, 6 forwards over here, 6 forwards over there, and then they'll break up, like, one of the extra forwards will jump on and play defense, all right, 4 defensemen over here, 4 defensemen over here, and you just kind of play games in that regard is what you're doing. So you're still simulating that. Even at the end of practice yesterday, they were doing sprints up and down the ice, just to keep the legs going. So they were doing that yesterday. But again, I'll say if they want some actual like practice reps against actual other people, they could come swing by my men's league game tonight, 8:30. They can. I mean, we're basically be cones.
I would say I can be a cone for
We'll be cones out there, but cones that somewhat move compared to them. But I mean, that's the best you could do. And Rod did talk about it yesterday as well, in the sense of, you can't really start game planning for Buffalo or Montreal because he doesn't know who they're going to play. Like, at least presenting stuff to players because, all right, guys, let me give you information on Buffalo. Hey, remember everything we said about Buffalo? We're not playing Buffalo because we're playing Montreal. So it's kind of a wait-and-see thing for them.
It'll be interesting. I'd love to be a fly on the wall of the coaches as they make practice plans and schedules and everything. And also, I'm sure they're talking to the players. Like, hey, how your legs feel? Hey, get in the weight room, do all that kind of stuff. You got to listen, especially to the vets that, it's a long season. Very long season.
And they could probably actually get some workouts in that they can't even get normally during the course of a regular season.
Some land work and stuff, some runs and bikes and all that. That's probably not as fun as it sounds, having 2 weeks off when you're in the middle of an NHL playoffs. So rest and relaxation. They're probably actually getting after it, if we're being real.
It's
a lot of ice tubs and stuff that aren't that fun.
I mean, you're like mentally it's stressing, but then mentally just to like, all right, we've been relaxing. Now you got to mentally just, all right, this is full go here. It's the conference final, Stanley Cup playoff trip on the line.
Yep.
It's a massive ramp up.
Yep, I am with it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, which, by the way, if you haven't done so already and you are a hockey fan, go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. Ask to see the Hurr-Cons and ask to see the Hurr-Cons that have the partnership with the NHLPA. It is the official watch of the NHL and NHLPA. They have some really cool things, some really subtle nods to the hockey world. Something like, the hands on your watch could, if you look closely, oh, look at that, they're hockey sticks. Little things like that. So, put a little bit of your personality into your watch, which leads me into my next point. I often talk about how your watch, the watch that you wear, can be a true statement of like who you are, right? Everybody has a fingerprint. Everybody has a watch that their taste oozes through. Maybe you like, I have a pilot's watch that I think is really cool. And part of the thing that it shows about me is I grew up in multiple time zones. So I keep 2 watches, or I keep 2 times on the pilot's watch. One where I grew up in Hawaii, one on Eastern time, so I can always check the time. It's like a little nod nostalgia. You can put your personality into your watch. But if your personality changes a bit, your taste changes a bit, hey, that thing I thought was awesome, now I don't, it's a really specific watch, go to Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location, Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. They are actively buying luxury timepieces. Rolex, Cartier, Panerai, Hublot, Omega, Breitling, Tudor, Patek, Audemars Piguet. If you're looking to sell or consign a watch, you can partner with them to do so, and then go ahead and buy something that more suits your personality right now, right? We all change. Your watch might have to change with you. So stop in, speak to one of their experts at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Now we need numbers game contestants, 2 numbers game contestants to be specific, so call in now, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to compete in the numbers game, and the winner will win a pair of tickets to see the NC Courage take on Chicago Stars FC. We're talking high-level soccer here, people, at Wake Med Soccer Park on May 16th. If you want to win the numbers game, you want to win the tickets, you got to call in now. Need 2 contestants, 919-860-5326. That's 860-5326. Call in now, numbers game next.
Golf's second major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen for coverage all week long of the PGA Championship from Aronimink Golf Club in Pennsylvania. Find out if Scotty can go the distance again or if a new champion emerges. We'll have leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the Wanamaker Trophy. The PGA Championship on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with 1 membership.
Step between the lines when you download the High School OT mobile app presented by State Employees Credit Union. It's easier than ever to find the coverage you want for the sports and schools you cheer for the loudest. Receive up-to-minute alerts, scores, videos, insider content, and the latest high school sports news across the state of North Carolina. Available now on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. The High School OT mobile app, presented by State Employees Credit Union.
Soundstation and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Soundstation and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Soundstation and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Soundstation and Security. Visit visit myhotsound.com.
When sleep isn't working, everything feels harder. Your health, your patience, your focus, even your relationships. I'm Megan Giggling with Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Too often, people are told to wait months or even years just to talk to a sleep specialist. But untreated sleep problems don't wait. At Parkway, care begins within weeks with home sleep studies and fast, coordinated support so people can move forward instead of staying stuck. Better sleep changes everything.
Parkway Sleep, your fastest path to better sleep. Start today at parkwaysleep.com. Sound sleep, sound health.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. Our contestants for today are, let's see here, Jeremy and Carrie and Cameron and Raleigh. They will be competing for soccer tickets. Wake Med Soccer Park, May 16th. The winner will get a pair of tickets to see NC Courage take on Chicago Stars FC. Let's go ahead and we'll bring on each contestant one at a time. We'll ask them the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer out of their answers, and that person will get to go first. We'll start with Jeremy and Carrie. Jeremy, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, perfect. We're giving away soccer tickets. I don't know a ton about soccer. So tell us your favorite soccer team, any level and why.
Probably the U.S. national team. Like how the whole country gets behind them, and it's always fun to watch when the World Cup comes around.
All right, U.S. national?
Men's or women's?
Oh, men's or women's. Good question.
Men's, I was talking about.
Okay, that's fine.
United States men's national team. All right, Jeremy is locked in. We go to Cameron. Cameron, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
All right. Outside of the NC Courage and a couple of the local teams, Charlotte FC, I don't have a lot of soccer knowledge. It's one of my blind spots in sports. So give us your favorite soccer team and why to see who goes first.
I'm going to keep it not local. I'm actually going to go with the LA Galaxy because I was lucky enough to see Landon Donovan and David Beckham play together like 20 years ago whenever they were there. So I'm going to go with the Galaxy.
All right. You know what? I said that I'm like not a big soccer fan, and I'm, I don't watch it often, but I remember the mania around David Beckham and Landon Donovan with the Galaxy. So Jeremy went United States men's national team. Cameron went the LA Galaxy, going back to his days watching Becks and Dons. I don't know if they call them either of that, but David Beckham and Landon Donovan.
Yeah, I don't think they
Galaxy.
do.
They should.
You can. That's fine. This is... The U.S. men's national team is not very good.
Would women have gotten it for you? Because the women are very good.
Women, if you would have said women, that would have been because they're fantastic.
Usually have a couple like Carolina soccer players.
I mean, Christian Pulisic is fun to watch, but
Pennsylvania's very own.
I might have to go with Cameron in this one because the fact of like, hey, look, I saw the LA Galaxy when they were a young franchise and they had these two stars that people know, and I was a fan of it, and the fact that he stuck with this fandom ever since.
I like the loyalty as well.
I respect the loyalty.
All right.
So I'll go with Cameron and Raleigh on this one.
Cameron and Raleigh goes first. Jeremy and Carrie, don't worry, you'll have your chance. Just have to sit on hold and wait your turn.
By the way, the World Cup's in like 4 weeks here in the U.S. So is anyone even excited for it? Well, I hardly even hear anything about it.
As soon as the end, they got to figure out if they're putting down turf or if they're putting down grass, and there's a whole bunch of things that got to happen. I feel like these big national or international sporting events are always like thrown together at the last second, which it shouldn't. But that's a conversation for a different day. Cameron gets to go first. Jeremy has to wait. Let's jump in. Cameron, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right. We have NFL, Panthers only. We have Major League Baseball batting champion since 2006. We have NBA players that did play in the 2026 playoffs, or NHL Hurricanes only.
Let's do NHL Hurricanes only.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. In that case, your time will start when you hear the horn. Keandre Miller, Carolina Hurricanes.
19.
Correct. Charles Alexis Legault, Carolina Hurricanes.
73.
Incorrect. Glenn Wesley, Carolina Hurricanes.
Number 2.
Correct. Artis Urbe, Carolina Hurricanes.
1.
Correct. Brent Burns, Carolina Hurricanes.
8.
Correct. Charles Alexis Legault, Carolina Hurricanes.
I'm going to go with 23.
Incorrect. Charles Alexis Legault, Carolina Hurricanes.
78.
Incorrect. Charles Alexis Legault, Carolina Hurricanes.
65.
Incorrect. Charles Alexis Legault, Carolina. Oh, I thought you were going to. 65 took me for a ride. 62 is what we were looking for. 62. That's how close you were from a perfect score. But you got 4. Solid showing. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up.
Thank you.
He went into 60. I was like, we got a chance here. No. Jeremy, are you ready to play?
Yes.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL, Panthers only, Major League Baseball players, batting champions since 2006, or NBA players that played in this year's NBA playoffs.
Let's go with the MLB category.
All right. Batting champions since 06. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You do need all 5 for the win, but you have the entirety of the clock. So keep the pedal to the floor. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. David Ortiz, Boston Red Sox.
34.
Correct. Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres.
13.
Incorrect. Nolan Arenado, Colorado Rockies.
27.
Incorrect. Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres.
Oh, boy. 22.
Incorrect. Nolan Arenado, Colorado Rockies.
21.
Incorrect. Fernando Tatis Jr., San Diego Padres. I don't know if I've seen someone be as close as you were while seemingly just losing all hope. You got David Ortiz with 34. Fernando Tatis Jr., you had 22. We were looking for 23. So you had the right vibe.
In the ballpark.
Nolan Arenado, we were looking for 28, and you gave 27.
Yeah.
So you were right there, but I could feel the energy just draining from you.
Just had to recalibrate a little bit.
Yeah, you were close. Unfortunately, close doesn't count here. But hopefully you had some fun, even though you didn't get the win.
Oh yeah.
All right, so appreciate it, and that means that our winner is Cameron, our LA Galaxy fan. Cameron, congratulations, you are the winner.
Hey, thank you so much.
The tickets to the NC Courage as they take on Chicago Stars FC at Wake Med Soccer Park on May 16th are yours. Go ahead and stand in the line, and Dennis will grab the info to make sure you get your tickets.
All right, much appreciated. Go Courage.
Go Courage. How about that? He was better at that game. This our second contestant, Jeremy, was better at that game than he gave himself credit for.
Yeah.
A little bit of confidence. Because I also hear that. Where, if you're a big baseball fan or a big football fan, whatever the category is, sometimes you feel like you're taking a true dart throw, but your subconscious knows, and you're closer than you think. Maybe you saw the trading card once, or you watched the game, or whatever, and it's there. You just don't know it. So just keep firing away. You might be right on the doorstep when you feel like you're a million miles away.
By the way, Cameron's never going to forget Charles Alexis Legault's number from now on.
You're closer than you think.
62.
There you go. You kept that one. That was quick pull. 62 for Charles Alexis Legault. Yeah, he had some good minutes this year. That's part of that whole, when all the defensemen were getting hurt. He played some good minutes for the Canes. Charles Alexis Legault, young guy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which, by the way, is a good place to yell and scream about you knowing the numbers in a numbers game, even though the contestants don't, right? You can be as active as you want in there, proving your worth. Actually, that would be a way. If you're commenting the number before the contestant gets there, you could actually prove that you know it, rather than everybody else that stops me when I'm out in public and just tells me how good they are at the numbers game. And I always respond with, it's different when the clock is live, right? It's different when the on-air light is on. If you're just playing in your car, it's fun. I encourage you to do it. I would do it. That's the game that's right up my alley. But if you're going to talk trash, I just say, man in the arena. Go ahead and throw your hat in the ring. See if you can make it work. And I would not be good at baseball. The people that are good at baseball really surprise me because I don't think you need numbers in baseball. Right? You know where the position, like I know who's playing right field. I don't need to know that. I know who's at the plate because they announce it, and it's like this guy's at the plate. I don't need the number. It's sports where everybody's moving constantly, and football, basketball, baseball, where hockey, not baseball, excuse me, hockey, soccer, those are the ones where you need to know jersey numbers. Baseball, I don't think you do. So if you're good at baseball, you really impress me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, you have something you want to tell everybody.
That's right, I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. One thing I want to make sure everyone knows out there when you are out there on the road is that there are drivers that are around you that might be uninsured or underinsured. It's roughly 1 out of every 8, 1 out of every 9 drivers that are out there on the road in the state of North Carolina are either underinsured or completely uninsured. So if you're injured in an accident, well, guess what? Your insurance policy then has to kick in and help to cover any medical costs in case the person that you run into or the accident is caused by someone that's uninsured or underinsured. So especially as a motorcycle rider, make sure you have your coverage fully up to date. Make sure you have the most protection for yourself as possible. And if you're in a motorcycle accident, get medical attention right away. You might feel okay in the moment, but that doesn't mean something isn't wrong. Go get that medical attention. And if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, make sure you contact Law Tigers first at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, even before you get in touch with the insurance company. Your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't pay a dime until the case settles. The insurance companies, they do want to give you the least amount possible, whereas Law Tigers, they are there to fight for you. That way you can get everything that you can if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. Give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan will be back with a pretty darn good idea from a athletic director in waiting for one of the schools in the Triangle. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and after every Hurricanes game, thanks to my friends at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, we give you the Canes Corner podcast. In-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, what's going to happen next, which players are those to look out for, and as we get deep into the playoffs, how can Carolina best position themselves to win a Stanley Cup? Canes Corner podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, live on YouTube, and of course available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here for my friends at Buffalo Brothers. My favorite place to go in the Triangle for the best wings on the planet. How about this special? Every Monday, half-priced wings all day. Dine-in only. Now that's a deal, baby. Everything on the menu is amazing. Pizza, apps, and always great drink specials. Visit any of their 5 Triangle locations and their pet-friendly patio, too. Online, buffbrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
Leaves, water, debris. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. There are a lot of things that can wreak havoc on your commercial property, and we are proud to be there for our dedicated customers that depend on us. From helping to design and build the roof for new construction, to maintenance, repair, and replacements, we've got the experience that you can count on. At RoofWorks, we don't want to be the biggest, we just want to be the best. Visit us at roofworks.com. That's roof, WERKS.com.
Jungle Cashword Scratch-Offs and Digital Instance games are here.
2 ways to play.
Yeah. Play Scratch-Offs like you do.
Scratch it.
Play Digital Instance on your phone.
2 ways to win.
Right. 2 ways to find letters and complete words. 2 ways to win up to $150,000.
That's a lot of crackers.
Jungle Cashword from the North Carolina Education Lottery. 2 ways to play, 2 ways to win instantly. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds to win range from 1 in 3.79 to 3.90. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There are very few things that I appreciate more than the simplicity of a really good common sense idea. It's mostly the only reason, like, I enjoy watching, like, reruns of Shark Tank or something. If I'm in a hotel and I'm flipping through channels, looking to kill a couple hours, and Shark Tank's there, I'm watching, because I love when they come up and they explain their invention, and it's something that's so simple. It's so like, of course. I love the simplicity of a really good idea. And Steve Newkirk, who is the North Carolina Tar Heels athletic director in waiting, like he's the to-be athletic director. It's already planned. Bubba Cunningham's on his phase out, and then Newkirk will take over. He was at is at the spring annual meetings for the ACC. The administrators, the front office, the coaches, they all get together down in Florida, and they talk big picture stuff. And Steve Newkirk spoke with our colleagues over at WRAL. And it's, again, I can't believe I hadn't thought of it. Steve Newkirk told WRAL that the revenue sharing cap should be based on the number of sports offered. So for those of you that are unaware, the way it is now, a school can pay its athletes up to $20.5 million. That is the pool for student athletes at your university. How you divide that up is up to you with certain parameters, right? There's a max percentage that can go to any one sport. I believe that's around 75%. So you can't give all 20.5 to football. You can't give all 20.5 to men's basketball. The most you can give to any one sport is some percentage. But other than that, it's up to you. And that in and of itself creates an issue. And having every school, no matter how many sports you offer, have the same amount creates an issue. Steve Newkirk added, whether you have 17 sports or 28 sports, you have the same cap. That's not probably the best way to do it, because it's almost a disincentive for some schools to have more sports. And I would correct him. I would say that's not almost a disincentive. That's a disincentive. You will be better, more funded, have higher priced rosters the less sports you have, down to the minimum that you can have to be like an NCAA accredited university. And that's messed up.
And a school like Carolina carries 28 varsity sports. You only need 16 by requirement of the NCAA.
And even if Carolina wanted to properly fund all of those sports to be competitive in their individual sports, they wouldn't be allowed to with payments to players and revenue sharing. Because just in order to be competitive in football, you're going to have to take up the lion's share of that. And if you're trying to be competitive in football and men's basketball, which they are trying to do, like, poof, it's pretty much gone. And Carolina, I mean, we don't have to run through it. Great women's soccer, great women's field hockey, great baseball, great this, great that, great. I mean, they have really good sports that deserve to be funded. Really good women's lacrosse, really, like, on and on and on. Really good men's lacrosse, on and on and on and on historically. So I would add a little bit more to Steve Newkirk's kind of good common sense idea, and it would just be that it's not based on how many sports you have, but I think there should be an individual cap for each sport that is set logically. Right? Where how much does it cost to be a super competitive fencing team? You should not get like, oh, we have 28 teams, so we get whatever share you get per athletic sport times 28, because, you know, a fencing team doesn't take as much money as a football team does to be competitive, right? So you find out somehow, studying nationally, put smart people on it, economists if you need to figure out a way to set a cap for each sport, and then your total money that you get to spend is based on how many sports you have, but also what sports you have. And that way you are setting in a weird way a more equal playing field across the country. Keep in mind, a lot of the money that players are getting paid come from outside revenue share. So outside university revenue share. So there will still be teams with bigger, like I'm not arguing for like some I don't know, everybody put your money in the pile and split it. Like I'm not arguing for everybody to get the same, but I do think it makes sense that if you have 28 teams, you shouldn't be forced to take more money from your football program than other schools that only have 18 teams. And the example I've been using is, we'll use St. John's. St. John's is spending oodles of money on men's basketball. Just a ton. But guess what? I don't even think St. John's has a football team. So everybody else, their revenue share is their basketball team is dealing with whatever the football team is not using. St. John's gets to use it all, right? They get so much more because they don't have a football team. Now, fair, unfair, I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying the universities that want to compete with St. John's and men's basketball have to put a ton of revenue share into there, and they're not robbing football. They're robbing Olympic sports. So even if the university does prioritize those sports, they do care about those sports, they can't fund the rosters. And that's, to me, a little messed up. So I think revenue share should be tied to how many sports you have, what sports you have, and then we go from there. You shouldn't have to make it almost feels like what happens at the beginning of The Dark Knight when they're on the boats? They have the prisoners and you got to decide something.
Oh, that's at the end of The Dark Knight, but yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's like you
flip
have
the switch, destroy the other boat.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it before they destroy you.
You shouldn't have those types of like moral dilemmas where you're like, I don't know, do we support our baseball team enough that they can be competitive, or do we support our women's basketball team enough that they can be competitive? Because we can't do both. It shouldn't be that. It should be if you prioritize all of these sports, you should be allowed to fund all of those sports and not have it seen as an unfair advantage over other schools or other sports. Like that's not... I imagine, and I know a lot of them have gone squirrely and kind of lost their path, but I imagine if you get into like college athletics administration, it's because at some point in time, maybe if you've lost the past, but at some point in time you loved sports, right? And you wanted to help student athletes in college have great experiences, right? I imagine at some point in time that was something you were interested in doing. Hopefully it still is. I don't want you to have to sit there like an undertaker deciding who lives and who dies as far as programs go. I don't want you, well-intentioned, trying to give everybody the best experience possible, go, it's out of my hands. I think we have to bail on men's track. Sorry, volleyball. We're going to stink. We can't fund you. That's not what it should be. But I have a feeling UNC, with their deep pockets, would be fine with this. I think a lot of schools would fight back against it because they probably already think $20.5 million is too much. And they don't want to add more just to have more sports. They're probably trying to penny pinch. But that's if you want to have the sport, you have to be willing to fund it, is basically what I'm saying. And if you're willing to fund it, you should be allowed to a reasonable number, to be competitive. I'm not saying the volleyball team should have men's or women should have a $12 million cap. Like I'm not arguing for anything crazy, just something that is enough to compete for championships without having to, take it out of your starting point guard's pocket or something. It's a really weird thing. Like imagine, let me put it this way. Imagine you're a big sports fan in the state of North Carolina, and the Canes, Panthers, and Hornets had one big cap for all of them. How quickly would you be going, the Hornets haven't been good in a while, and I really want to see the Canes get a cup. Let's take all that Hornets money and put it on the ice. And that's not the way you should be thinking, but that is the way colleges are forced to think. Our baseball team hasn't been good in a few years. Let me take all the money we have earmarked there and make sure we have a good offensive line. That's how they have to think. and it's not the best way for the sport or any sport. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, speaking of guys that are going to get paid that play local college here, Boozer, Caleb, who would you rather have, Cameron Boozer or Caleb Wilson? We'll start off Overdrive. And later today here on the station, we have Charlotte FC, little soccer here for you.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock. Enjoy that here on 99.9 The Fan. Enjoy Overdrive. In the meantime, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Move your sports day forward.
The Carolina Panthers continue their evolution now 3 years into this front office, and there's promise. What started year one as a refresh turned into a rebuild, and with the latest draft, we see reinforcement. The fifth-year option on Bryce Young, now icing. It's a different mantra from the let's develop dogs mentality. Now it seems, let the dogs hunt.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.